Hey, welcome to Corbellic Studios. We're back for another live stream painting show. We're going to be knocking out some paintings today. We're also going to be talking about why art sells here, how art sells here. When I'm talking about here, I'm talking about eBay. I'm talking about how art sells here, and that, it's just better to be selling art here than anywhere else, than the gallery phase, than the Instagram, than the Facebook messengers, or what is it, the marketplace, or doing art fairs. Art sells here. So I'm really excited about it. We have some really cool testimonies today too, where we're talking about the artist spotlight that's going to be later on in the video. And I can't wait to really break that down, because I always get excited about that, to see the wins. And that's the thing that you should be inspired by too, because, look, I always say, if I can do it, then you can do it. But then it's kind of transition over to, hey, if they can do it, then you can do it. Because that way you could just see that normal day people just like you are able to do it. If you're not part of the community, then you could join the community, and you could also interact with these people, have them be your friends, accountability partners, and you can actually reach out to them and say, hey, how are you making this happen for yourself? We got some really cool paintings that I'm going to be doing today. I'm really excited. I think from now on, for the content, or for the for the live streaming, I think I'm going to be doing my larger paintings, which is going to be not larger paintings, but it's going to be our 16 by 20. I think it's just going to make better content that way, and it's better for me. I love painting bigger paint. I love painting bigger canvases. So I'm going to be focusing on the 16 by 20. So we're going to have a lot of fun today on the larger canvases, and you get to see the art references that I was able to create by using the AI art references prompt that I have. I created a code where we have our own tool that we use inside the community, where you just press one button and it will generate you any kind of reference, any random reference, or even something that you're looking for. But we also have a tool where we have a reverse engineer, and you're able to put different things in there, such as cartoons, such as a horse or whatever, and then it'll reverse engineer it and put it into an art style. So that way you don't have to try to reinvent the wheel, or even feel guilty inside. Because I struggled with this for years, thinking that I was a fake artist. People are going to make fun of me because I'm getting different references. But now you can feel confident that you're not stealing anybody's references, you're not copying from somebody else's artwork. This is you just using AI so they can repopulate something that's original for you, and then you can make it in your own image. So nobody can say anything to you. Let's see who we have here today. We have anybody in the community? Not yes, not so far. Let me see if we're on right now. We should be on. I think we're on live. I think we're good to go. Unless I selected the wrong broadcast. Yeah, it says we're on right now. That's interesting. Just making sure. There we go. We are good to go. All right, I think I was in the wrong one, but here we are this morning. Join. Let me make sure I write in here. Boom, there we go. All right, good morning, everybody. Boom, there we go. Cool. Just wanted to make sure that we're here. Had to pin my community in there. So if you're not part of the community, you can just click the link that's in the chat, and that way it can take you there. And then you can also join us cool people in there. All right. Then you can share your artwork. You can say what's going on with yourself. You can talk about your business goals. You can talk about anything you want inside the community. All right. It doesn't even always have to be about art. It could be about maybe some challenges or something that's going on in your life. And we have so many positive people in the community where, they'll reach out to you. We'll interact with you. We'll say, hey, what's going on? Things that we're also working on, and maybe our personal lives or our business, and things that's different challenges, because we're all not perfect and we're all going through something, right? So, but we're all here for each other, and that's what makes it special. So good morning, everybody. We got John here. We got Villo Pack here. William, Pancake, William. Hey, William. Hey, sorry, William. At times, I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you or anything like that. It's just sometimes I don't know if it's a different language. I don't know if it's a different language that you type in, or if it's something like that. But sometimes it's just hard for me to read what you're saying. But I want to give you a special shout out, big recognition. You're always so supportive, and I want to thank you, my friend. All right, we got John here. We got Anna here. They are making it hard to watch these live streams. Yeah, right. Something like that. I know they're doing something different, right? To make it difficult to watch the live streams. They're doing something different, right? I'm glad you noticed that. You pointed that out, right? They're trying to, I told you, they could try to get in your way and always try to slow you down with something. But we're here right now. You know, no one's going to slow us down. At least we're here. But let's get started right now. Mm. Health is wealth. This morning's juice is cold pressed watermelon juice again. Got to get the electrolytes in. Today's going to be a long day. We're going to be doing our live stream where we're going to have a lot of fun doing some paintings, but then also I have coaching calls packed up all day, which is a blessing, right? It's a blessing because I get to help people. I get to communicate. We get to do one-on-ones. I get to go inside their account, see everything that's going on and work with them that way. So that's a blessing. All right, let's get on to the paintings right now. Oh, you're from Slovakia. Okay, that's why. Cool, man. That's so cool. So I greatly appreciate you taking the time out all the way from Slovakia. But maybe you're in New York right now, I think, or something. I don't know, but it's really cool. That's what makes the internet so cool, and that's why art sells here. Is because I always tell people eBay is global. It's not just America. It's not just where you can make sales here. It is global. So no matter where you're at, in most places, in most of the large countries around the world, eBay will work for you. We have successful members in every country. So I think that's just a blessing. That's really cool. All right, let's get started with this. No more wasting time. I want to do some painting. I want to show you what I got. All right, so check this out right here. This is what I was able to pull up off of my reverse engineer. Off of the reverse engineer, I just went in there and then I typed in, or I didn't even have to type in there. I just went into my references because that's how cool the tool is that I created. I went in there and I put an image of Marvin the Martian. Marvin the Martian, the cartoon. I put it into the reverse engineer. I pressed one button, boom, it popped me out an original version of this. So that way when I create it, no one can say, oh, you copied Marvin the Martian or whatever. It's still going to be in our own image. It's going to be completely different, but yet you can see the interpretation is going to be Marvin the Martian. So let's do this. All right, art sells here on eBay because buyers are already searching. So that's going to be our first topic today. We're going to be talking about artists, buyers buy. um, Art sells here on eBay because buyers are already searching. They're already searching. I always tell people there's 145 million credit cards that's already linked inside of eBay. They're already buying stuff. They're already in the spirit of buying stuff. They're already buying. Give them a chance to buy your artwork. Don't get inside your ego and be like, but nobody wants my ugly stuff. You'd be surprised. And I love telling that to people. Like you have artwork that's inside your house, inside your home, that you feel like nobody wanted throughout all these years. And then the light bulb clicks once you list it and you see that people actually want it. You're like, what? I could have been making money all along. I always tell that to people. Like there's stuff in your house that you could get rid of. No, I'm in Florida. I was born in Slovakia. That's awesome, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, I have a studio in Florida. I love Florida. But eBay is not like social media where you have to beg for attention. You don't have to beg for attention on there. Only thing you have to do is just list the artwork. That's the cool part. When I was doing social media and I was always like doing stuff for the free likes, I feel like I was begging for attention all the time. Hey, did you see this artwork? Did you see this? Hey, what do you think about this? Like you have to be a salesperson all the time to people who aren't even, there's different markets, people who actually just want to give you free lights compared to people who are engaged shoppers who actually have warm credit cards. It's a total different mindset. And I'd rather be at the place where there's actual people who are psychologically conditioned to want to purchase because it's easier to convert that way compared to people who are just psychologically conditioned to want to do free likes. So I'm just making this over here where this is going to be one side. One side is going to be our contrast of like our black, dark red, right? And then the other side is going to be a contrast of like a white. That's always good to have a contrast like that, no matter what you're painting. I always like to do stuff like that. One side's one color, the other side's the other color. You do something like that, it doesn't matter what you're painting. Usually it just turns out phenomenal. Now, people come to eBay, they're already looking to buy something. So even if they're not buying your artwork, they're looking to buy something. Compared to people who are looking to just give you free likes. It's a total different mindset. That's art sells here. Your artwork, it doesn't need to go viral to get discovered on eBay. Best thing for you to go, the only thing that you got to do to go viral is just work and just you could be consistent. How easy is that? That's easy. That way I don't have to do negotiations and talk to people who don't have the money. And I feel bad. I feel bad like trying to talk myself into a market where people don't have the money and then they feel bad that they have to explain themselves that they're just free likers. They're just people who want to like your stuff for free. They didn't actually want to buy anything. All right, so look at this side right here. I'm just doing like this dirty white. Even though the canvas is white, right? It has a look when you actually use some white, but don't use white onto a white canvas. Make sure the white is just a little bit muddy. Or what you can do, but it just takes too much time. What gallery artists do is they'll have this side wherever they're going to have their white at. They'll have the background be a dark color like this, like a dark red or something, or maybe even a dark blue. Then they'll dry it off. It'll be completely dried off, and then they'll just quickly go over top of it with the white. So that way it gives it that blotchy look. But another way to just to bypass it is just to muddy it up yourself, and then it gives it that that blotchy white look that we're doing right now. So that way, when you paint on top of it, it's like there's something underneath, kind of like what we're doing right now on top of this. So I love that look. And so do other people, but their eyes love it, but they don't understand why their eyes love it. So we're just making it a little bit muddy. Or you could just even add a tiny bit of black to it, make it a little bit of gray, like this. Some areas, look at that, how we did that. You see that, how we did that? Boom, look at that. All right, so that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part of the painting right there. Now, only thing we have to do is just dry it off, and then we can go into our principle, which is the Martian. And the Martian's going to be the fun part. And then we're almost done with the painting. We're almost already done, and we just started. Look, if I can do it, you can do it. The cool thing about eBay, why art sells here, is because on social media, people don't know what they're actually looking for, or they'll just click through so many pages. They become saturated of just a bunch of different portfolios, really. But there's no checkout there. So you're causing more friction if you want people to purchase from you who are not even engaged shoppers, because on social media, they have to do what? If they really, really like it and they want to go out their way, like, I mean, they have to really, really want to go out their way, because the psychology, how social media built their sites anyways, is that they don't want people to click off of their sites. They don't want people to click off of their sites because they want people to stay on there to give more engagement and more clicks and generate more money for them. So for people to really, really like you on social media and to have a conversion rate to click over, that means they have to go to your portfolio. Then they have to click the top bio button to see if you have a link in there. Then hopefully you have a link in there that takes you to your own website that you're paying all this money to host. And then they go to your website, and then they have to try to go through the part where it says, hey, sign up to my newsletter. And then they have to go bypass the part that says, here's my artwork. Now, most times when the artists have their artwork on their own website, when there are these other gallery type of artwork, 90% of the time, they're not going to have the pricing on there. They're just going to have the artwork there and say, oh, this is my available artwork. So then you really, really have to like the artwork to reach out to them and say, hey, is this piece available? I really like this one. How much is it? If you have to reach out to them and ask them how much it is, there's already a big friction right there where it might be more than what you're willing to spend. And you don't even want to do that. You want things to be transparent. So that's why eBay art sells, because when people go to eBay, it's a checkout, it's less friction. The artwork is there. It has the price point of what the artwork is. If I like it, if it looks good, I press the checkout button. I'm ready to buy. I don't have to do this back and forth. I don't have to try to look for it. Hopefully you have a page. Hopefully let me reach out to you. Hopefully that art piece is available. Oh, you don't have a price point on that artwork? Why? Because you're going to try to dictate the change of whatever it is of the market or whatever the timing. In 2026, people don't want to go through all that. That's too much friction that you're asking the consumer to do. That's too many jump points. You're like, whenever you run a business, you always want to have the friction be the least. You always want to have the funnel be the easiest. Hi, Miriam. Hey, Sheila. Morning. All right, now on to the fun part right here. Now let's get into the fun, which is just our Marvin the Martian. And what's going to make this so fun, right, is because even though it's Marvin the Martian, we're doing an impressionism in our own way. So what I like to do anytime I go into paintings, I like to go into it fast and heavy. That's my way. I always go into it with the 1-inch brush. I go into it fast. I go into it heavy. That way I can already have the paint blotched out as quick as possible. And then if I want to do any details or whatever a little bit later or whatever, I could do that when I'm finishing it up in such a short amount of time. But in order for me to paint fast, I have to paint fast at first and trust the process. I don't care how ugly and raw it looks at the beginning, because I'll just tighten it up later. So we're just going to go into it with happy mistakes. You see how quick I'm working this? You need to work it this fast as well too, as soon as you start off. This is how you're going to make your paintings look good. If you want to tighten stuff up, tighten it up later. Don't tighten it up at the beginning. You're just wasting time. Yeah, most people go to Pinterest, they go to Instagram, they go to stuff like that for inspiration, or when they're bored, or when they're doom scrolling. I mean, these companies spent billions of dollars to have it that way. They didn't have it where they want you to buy stuff from them. That's why they make it so difficult on people where they have their own website, their own portfolio, or own whatever. They make it difficult to even find it sometimes. And it's that way on purpose, because they want you to stay on their platform. They spent money on, so they spent billions of dollars probably just on ads just to keep you there. And then this is the thing that people don't get. Do you know how much money people spend every single day on advertisement to Meta every single day? People build so many campaigns every single day. That's like probably the largest campaign out there. The who gets the largest amount of marketing money is Meta. That's how they keep their lights on, is because people spend so much money. People spend billions of dollars on advertisement. So you could stay on the Meta platform, which is Facebook, Instagram. They don't want you to click off and go to another paid site. That's why I try to tell people, like, if you when you're doing eBay, you don't have to worry too much about, like, oh, what if people find me from Instagram or Facebook or my artist life or whoever, my friends and family. It's a different market. It's a 90% a different market. They're not the same people. So I was like, you don't even have to worry about it. I was a ghost for years, just selling on eBay. It's a different market, different group of people. Because there's a group for engaged buyers and there's a group for engaged lookers, clickers, free likes. Morning, everybody. This is fanfare. This is abstract fanfare, and we are actually protected by law to do these because we can actually copy the reference. There's a law where we're actually protected, but as long as we're not making an exact replica and we're selling millions of them, we're not selling millions of copies and going to arenas and going to stadiums and selling these on T-shirts. We're selling them on eBay. So I've never had any problems because it's pop culture fanfare. If you go to any gallery, if you go to any pop art gallery where people are actually selling paintings for $10,000, $20,000, they're using a lot of fanfare, cartoons, references, pop art culture. I mean, look at Andy Warhol, look at Basquiat. It's the impression of how you're doing it. There's an actual law where it protects you as an artist where you can do it, so it's never an issue. And if you think that, like, these large corporations are going to go out of their way during these times where they're going to go through litigation to sue little OU or somebody on eBay, then that's just somebody's ego getting in the way, thinking that you're that important. You're not, and neither am I. So that's why it's like I could paint whatever I want to paint. I never had an issue, and I sold over 18,000 paintings. But also how we're designing this anyways when we're done, it's like it's the impression of whatever the cartoon or whatever the thing is, or even if I do it straight up, it doesn't matter because it's art, and it's just a way of how you're interpreting it. I'm going fast and loose, fast and loose. I'll tighten things up later on if I have enough time. Like I try to tighten everything up, and I try to do everything within um 10, 12 minutes, right? Like at least my botch colors. And then the timer will go off, and then I'll say to myself, okay, I got 2 to 3 minutes to finish the project, and that's it. And then it's like I give myself 12, 15 minutes at the most to do a painting when I'm on studio mode, of course, like not if I'm live stream. It's a little bit different live streaming at times. But most of the time I even play a game with myself where I'm trying to finish a painting in 7 to 10 minutes. It's a game to me. I think it's fun. I have the timer, and then I'm not clocking the timer the whole time. I'm just working fast before the timer goes off, and I see how fast I could go. Because for me, time is money. So it's like, okay, however fast that I could get on with a painting, if I got done with a painting in 5 minutes, 7 minutes, it's like I beat the game of where I'm making free money. And we'll talk about that later on where in the artist spotlight. So stick around for the artist spotlight later on, where we're going to be breaking that down, how time is money and you can make so much money in such a short period of time, and it really blows your mind. It really opens things up for you, and it changes your perspective about art. It changes your mind about a lot of things, but you just got to give yourself the opportunity to do it. Give yourself the opportunity to make quick art, quick money. Our live stream yesterday was like, we need to stop overcomplicating life. We need to stop overcomplicating things. We need to stop saying to ourselves that everything needs to be difficult and complicated, because it doesn't. It's okay for things to just be simple. We need to give ourselves permission that things need to come to us easy. Money needs to come to us easy. Opportunities need to come to us easy. Art needs to come to us easy. Money needs to come to us easy. It's okay. It's okay for me to say that I'm only going to do this painting in 10, 15 minutes and it's going to come to me easy, because it does. Okay. Okay. Like, look how quick we're doing this painting. This is so cool. Later, John. Take it easy. John says, I improved my paintings about 35 minutes. I still have to get a bit faster, but it's better than doing 40 hours, which I was doing before. That's awesome. From 40 hours to 40 minutes, hey, that's an improvement. And then you'll be able to cut that down too to 15 minutes and then 10 minutes. You'll be able to get faster. That's amazing to hear. Great job, John. Now we're going to do the fun part, because we're just letting this dry off. And then I'm going to go in with the oil pastel really quick, make the marks on here, and then we're done with it. It's going to look very impressionism or expressionism, neo-expressionism. That's what we're aiming for. But yeah, so on eBay, a buyer on compared to social media on eBay, a buyer can find you by the color. So instead of them being stuck on social media where they're just looking and they don't know what they're really looking at, or they like everything in the portfolio and it's hard for them to click off, on eBay, the cool thing is someone just bought a new house or they just painted their walls, and it's easy for them to go into the subject, or they type into eBay, I'm looking for something that's pink. I'm looking for something that's red. I'm looking for something to match this color. And then they'll see a color pattern that's yours, or they could go into just the subject matter, because they have an advanced AI now where they just type in like whatever kind of subject or whatever kind of pattern that they're looking for, and then it'll show up with your artwork. It's this color, it's this style, it's this theme. A buyer can find your painting through the title, the size, style, subject. The marketplace rewards listings, not just popularity. I got so tired. I was so burnt out. I didn't even know if I was going to be doing eBay or anything like that. I've already made my decision that I was done with social media. I was burnt out with the whole popularity thing. And then after a while, if you're really like into that world, I'm going to tell you, it's very similar to high school. Like, you have click groups, you have popularity groups, you have like, it's very clicky. It gets very, very clicky, and like popularity and stuff. Like, I just got tired of it. Like, it was just exhausting. And I remember like before I was logging off, I remember telling this one artist because one artist reached out to me. It was like, "Hey man, we don't see you. We don't see you anymore. Where's your stuff at? Where's your daily content? Where's your daily stories?" And I was like, "It's exhausting. It's too much work, man." Like, and he was like, "It's not that much work." I never forget that. I'm like, dude, it's work. It is definitely work. It is popularity contest, and when it comes to the marketplace, it's not even about popularity. It's about the cool, authentic art that's inside of you. So that's why I always tell people, which is so cool, you don't have to be a popular Instagram, social media personality artist to sell on eBay. Only thing you have to do is be you, be authentic, and create different type of art that's original. Kind of like what we're doing right now, right? We're just being super original, and we're just being loose with it. This is the type of stuff that people want to see, and we're just having so much fun with it right now. Like, look how I'm not like coloring inside the lines or anything. This is what people actually want to see. They want to see the mistakes. They want to see you be raw with it. This is the stuff that sells more than you're taking the time out with the polar bear hairs and is this right here. Give them a chance to buy your mistakes and have fun with it. Like, I love this. I get to be a child and just do what I want. I said yesterday for fun, and it was so true. Like, I'm telling you, you think that polar bear hair artist wants to come into the studio every single day and treat himself like such a serious adult? There's probably more days in his career that he wishes that he could come into the studio and paint like this, how we're painting right now. But he can't do it because he put himself in a box to do the polar bear hair. So everybody treats him so serious with his art, and his all artwork is always like that. So all of a sudden, if he tried to switch it up and just be a child and do expressionism stuff like this, like just really quick artwork, people are going to be like, "Oh, but what happened? You were such a serious artist, and you spent $100,000 to go to art school so you could paint on a magnifying glass." And he'd be like, his he probably be so vulnerable. He'd be like, "No, I was just joking around. That was my son. My son hacked into my account and drew that. That wasn't me. I'm super serious." I'm gonna write moon on here because I don't know, like Martian. So like moon, why not? That's cool. That is kind of trending right now. Is the moon, right? I used to work with someone who was Marvin the Martian's voice. How cool is that? You kidding me? That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That is awesome to hear, Rachel. So you can just see how, like right now, it's the impressions of Marvin the Martian, right? But we're making it into our own Marvin the Martian. People could tell that it's Marvin the Martian, right? But it's our own impression of it at this point. You can't you can't get you can't get in trouble or sued for doing something that's abstraction and you copying the impressions of it. Do you understand how many artists would be sued every single day? Like there would be no more art if that's the case how you do it. I think when people ask that question, either you just don't really understand the art market, and that's fair if it's a genuine question. or you're just trying to figure out ways to not work. I'm done with this one. Awesome. And there we go right there. Now I'm going to just maybe put some couple other expressionism marks or colors in here, like blue. Let blue pop out a little bit. All right, let's put that in there then. Somebody said, shouldn't it say boom? So let's put boom up here then. Boom. Boom. Right? There we go. And then let's add in some blue to make it pop out on the eye. So let's put blue right here. Let's put some blue right here. Trust me, he'll make the eye pop. This is what we do. And then let's do a little bit of blue right here. Right? And then a little bit of blue right here. Let's do it around his gun. So people in the art market, right, when they're looking for this, they can look for Marvin the Martian or something like that for their home. And then they'll be able to they'll be able to show it on eBay. Like, the more inventory that you put up, the more chances that buyers have to find you. That's why we always call it the lottery ticket effect. This is the lottery ticket effect right here. That's awesome. I love it. And look, we did this really quick by one button. We did this one button by on the AI art app that we have inside, or how to be outside of myself. There was so many years that I wasted trying to do art like this, not trying to do art like this, but trying to find the references to do art like this, but do it in my own way. But now I'm able to do it in my own way with the help of the proportions from the projector. And we had the help from the proportions, but you see how I still made this into my own image. And you could do this too, because you're already a creator. This is an art school. You can already do this. Just be a child, use the projector of what we have, use the tools of what we have, and then you can come up with your own genius, put it out into the market. We did this in such a short period of time. And we did this also while just talking and having fun. Look at this beautiful thing right here. This is a beautiful painting. This is a $500 painting. All right, on to the next one. This is why consistent sellers win over emotional artists who only post when they feel inspired. They only post when they feel inspired or when they feel good or when their attitude, like, we're human. Our moods change all the time. Our inspiration changes all the time. The brain plays tricks on you. If you're having a tiring day or maybe you're having a crash, your brain will say that you're a loser and things don't work and whatever. But I mean, that's just one day from another. Our mind plays tricks on us. So that's the difference between us, is that when you're just being consistent and you don't care about how your mood feels, you don't care about any of that stuff, you always win over the emotional artists who are just waiting for the inspiration. I'm waiting to be the perfect artist. I'm waiting for it to not to do this. This is what an artist really does and what it looks like. All right, on to the next painting. This is really a lot of fun. Hope you're having fun too. If you're having fun as well, if you enjoy this, let me know. Leave a like in the video. All right. Everybody says they do have sound. Let's do this. Let's get back onto it. Let's get back into it. All right. We're back into it right now. Like I said, look at this Batman right here. I just pulled up a Batman neo-expressionism that's going to be riding a horse. This is something that I was able to pull into the app tool that I created inside the eBay community, inside the Elite community. So that way you could just press one button, boom, presto, right there. I didn't have to go to Pinterest. I didn't have to go to look for it on Google. I didn't have to do anything. I just put one button in, press one button, and then populates this image of what I wanted. So awesome, so cool. And no one can ever say to me, "You stole that." No, I didn't. No, I didn't. This is coming out of my brain where AI met me halfway. I built the coding and I have it populate to in the imagery of what I wanted. And everybody has access to it inside the community. Let me know in the comments what y'all thought about that last painting. If that's something that you like, if you thought it was cool. I thought it was extremely cool. But you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And taste is the enemy of creativity. All right, so let's get into this right now. I'm just going to do the background real quick. What I'm going to do like a wash on it. So yeah, let's just do a wash real quick on the background. And I like when I'm doing backgrounds like this, I always kind of use a Tupperware on the side. I don't go straight into the white that's from my palette. I just like to keep it available right here in case I muddy it up a little bit because I like to have a little bit of a muddy white and I'll use it on the background. It's also a good tool also to use like if you're going to use a cheaper white a little bit where you could do that and it's great. Artist Loft is a good one. Lee gave that suggestion the other day, and it is really good if you're going to be doing background washes like we're about to do right now, because it's cheap. You don't have to think about it, and you can just go straight into it. So I'm going to just do a background wash. First thing I like to do is get the canvas a little bit wet, so that way it doesn't eat too much. Oh, let me plug in my computer. We don't want that to turn off. Oh, let me plug in the computer. Boom. There we go. So you see how I just sprayed down that white, that canvas a little bit? That way the canvas doesn't eat, like it won't be too dry and it won't eat up too much of the paint. So look at that. You see how that looks? And it blends. You see how quick that's blending in? Sometimes you want to do that. That's a cheat right there if you don't know that. Is just spray your canvas a little bit with the color, or spray it a little bit with the water bottle first. You could get a water bottle. I get mine from the 99-cent store. I'm very resourceful in everything because money don't grow on trees. All right. Like, I don't know. I was poor and broke more times in my life as an adult than I was rich. So I'm always going to keep that mindset to be like frugal, especially we're artists. So being an artist, we have to be resourceful. Not like these other, we're not like these other people around here, all right? Like I'm resourceful in everything. I don't care. I know I get people who make fun of me in the community at times because I use like the same printer that I've been using for like years, or I use the same type of stuff, or I didn't even change up my projector until it was time for me to change it up. I don't know. I'm just like that. But yeah, you could spray it your canvas just with a little bit of water, and then you put your color on. So that's a secret of how to give it that wash look for the background before we go into the principle. Let's add a little bit of red somewhere. Look at that. So that's how you're able to get those cool background colors like that, where it looks very abstract, but also washed. And then let's just dry it off. So on this topic, what we're going to be talking about is that the wall decides. All right. It's kind of like the same thing as saying that the market decides. The market decides your artwork. The wall decides. I like to say it like that better, that the wall decides the value. A buyer is not always asking, hey, is this museum quality? Will the paint last me 1,000 years? They're not asking questions like that. They just see the end result and they want it. They're not thinking about if it's going to go into the Louvre after they pass away. They're not thinking if the art piece is going to uh, be next to Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa after they pass away. They're looking at the end. They're looking at what they want right now. A buyer is asking, will this look good in my home? That's so awesome. That's not the original Batman sign. It's the Tim Burton Batman sign. That's so cool. I like the Tim Burton Batmans. I thought those were so cool. I liked all of them. Michael Keaton, Michelle Pfeiffer. Come on. Danny DeVito. I remember when that came out, that was so awesome. I remember the first one came out, that was awesome. But then that second one, that was just like so cool. They don't make movies like that anymore. The music, everything. Come on. The Sweet Life says, oh my goodness, you're really taking me back to some happy childhood memories. My brother used to talk like Marvin the Martian, and we used to watch Batman and Robin back in the day. Thanks so much. That's what it's all about. Now, you hear that? Now, if she's feeling that way and we're just having fun, right? We're just creating art and we're members here. Think about how the buyer feels. The buyer always says that. They always reach out and say, you know what? Thank you so much. I loved Popeye, the cartoon. I love this feeling. I love this. They don't want to see the exact replica of Marvin the Martian. They don't want to see the exact replica of Popeye. They already know what that looks like. That's boring. They want to see the interpretation of it as something different from you. And only you can do it. Just like this. This is going to be Batman, but it's going to be my interpretation of it. And it's going to be so cool where you even have some people who are like, I wasn't even thinking of it, for example, for an artist. But the wall decides where they're like, you know what? That's the Tim Burton version of it. How cool is that? You know? And then when they tell me stuff like that, when they write out to me, I say the same thing of what I'm saying to you now. How cool is that? And then what I do as a seller, when they tell me stuff like that, it's up to us to build a relationship with these people. And I go, man, that's so cool. I remember Michelle Pfeiffer, Danny DeVito, just like how we were having a conversation now. It doesn't always have to be transactional conversation. You make a lot of money off of just being a real person and being like, let's talk about Batman. Let's talk about how cool that was. I remember being alive during that time and being a kid and watching it. And I went to the theaters. I remember being so excited for my mom to take me to the theaters. I couldn't sleep that day. I remember. We can have these conversations. You have these conversations with people, you're a real life person. They come back and buy from you because it's not just about the art. It's about your mindset. And then they go, you know what? I love how the approach that you did on that last painting. Can you create me I also liked Howard the Duck growing up. I liked Chippendales, or I liked, or what was it? What was that cartoon? I think it was like, was it called Chippendale Rescue Rangers or something like that? These are the things that's awesome. These are the things that I think of. These are the things that I think of. That's why I love the reverse engineer app that we have. And I love the reference creator because I'm able to tap into people's childhood memories, things that meant something to me, things that you think are cool. They are cool. There's a tribe out there, whatever you're into, they're also into it. So tap into whatever these things that you think are cool, pull it up, and then put it into the reference creator or the reverse engineer. Make your own version of it. And then there's people out there who will be like, that's cool. I want to buy that. Compared to social media, the wall decides. All right, let's get into this. You're getting me excited here. I was a baby when the Burton movies ran, but I was hella excited when it first aired on TV. Yeah, well, I'm old enough to I went to the theaters to see it. Was so excited. I was still a kid, but I was old enough to understand. So I guess yeah, I was a baby too. Still a kid. All right, so let's do this fast. Let's do this fast and loose, right? We don't need to be perfect on these because that's not what it's about. And they don't want you to be perfect on these either because that's not what they're paying you for. That's not what it's about. The more that you do this, the more that you're going to understand that they don't want that perfect Mona Lisa, Batman, Tim Burton version. They don't want that. What are you doing? Ugh. They want it raw. They want the mistakes. I love it. I love this. Gets me so excited, man. I love this. Because it's like I could just go through so many paintings and I can enjoy my workday. Like, isn't this fun? This is more fun for me to show up to work. So yesterday when I'm talking about like things need to become easy and they need to come easy to us, this is what I mean is it needs to come, you need to make things easy and say, why am I working so hard? Why am I challenging myself and thinking that all these paintings need to be so damn serious all the time? And they need to be like so Mona Lisa's and they need to, because we're conditioned, you still have it in your mind where you're conditioned about what serious art is and what buys and what people want. They don't want it. I've been doing this long enough to tell you they don't. I'm not going to say they don't want it, but you're going to have more fun and you're going to have longevity in your career by showing up to work and having fun like a child and painting like this and getting on to the next one. When you see that the market wants it, the wall decides the value. The artwork has to fit a wall, a room, a color theme, or a feeling. I mean, that's why the simple abstract art, it can sell better than the overcomplicated pieces. This is the simple, this is the simple abstractions. This is what I consider abstractions. I always tell you the truth. If you're not part of the elite community, I'm going to give you a gem right now. But I always say that like abstracts do okay on the buy it nows, but they don't do well at all when it comes to the auctions. But when I talk about doing abstraction work, I'm really talking about doing, this is abstract to me. This is abstract to me. It's more like neo-expressionism. I call it abstract expressionism. This is abstract to me because it's still a principal piece, but it's not just like random colors and random splatters. Like, you can't just get away with doing art like that and thinking that the buyer is dumb. The buyer is not dumb. They know when you're just trying to like, okay, you're just throwing some stuff together compared to like what's inside of you. Don't just throw some colors together and thinking that they're going to buy from you like that. Like you might be able to get away with stuff like that on the buy it now store. If it's a larger piece, like I'm talking about, it's got to be like a 4 foot by 4 foot, then it's abstract and the mock-up even looks good. Fine. You might be able to get away with that if you have enough of that type of work. But as an auction, no, it won't do well. That's free game if you're not part of the elite community. I just don't want you to waste your time. Got some artists out there wasting their time doing all these abstract, super abstraction things, and then putting them up on auction, and then they're wondering why nobody wants it because the buyer's not dumb. Like you can't just show up to work and be lazy and throw paint onto paint onto a canvas or to a piece of paper and be like, I'm going to put it up for 99 cents and people are going to bid on it. No, they're not. They're going to bid on it if you have like I tell you like what does better is like you have the that's why I supply you with the themes of things that do better. If you want to do abstract, and you let's just say if you have a bunch of abstract work and they're already created or even on paper, because I've done this myself, I had to be like, all right, I can't fool the customer, because I've done this myself, thinking that I could fool the customer by throwing out a bunch of abstract work. I can't fool them, but I don't want to throw away the artwork either or get rid of it. So what I would do is I would go back to the abstract on paper or whatever, and I would just put a quick, either a dog character on there on top of it or a flower or something. Have it be a principal piece, something. Now I have this cartoon theme song in my head where it was like Chippendales Rescue Rangers, Chippendales Rescue Rangers. I don't know if anybody remembers that. It was called Chippendales Rescue Rangers. It was so cool. They don't make cartoons like that anymore. I mean, waking up early in the morning on Saturday just to watch some Saturday cartoons. Oh man, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Am I lying? Am I lying? Nope, you know I'm not lying. All right, now let's just go in here and tighten it up with the black. Let's see what we pull up with. But yeah, the buyer doesn't care on on social media and online. You got to sell this story about how long it took you. It took you a million thousand hours to do the polar bear hairs and blah blah blah. And this is the process of how long it did it. And there was this one artist. I think I even did a reaction video of it. Was it Ty Twobbly, something like that? One of the reaction videos, and he had. No one's ever asked that question. Maybe they would ask that question. Look how quick I'm doing these. You see how quick that I'm doing this botching of the color. I'm not thinking anything about it. I'm just being raw with it because if I want to tighten it up later, I can still tighten it up by adding another layer on top of this black if I need to. I'm just adding this here because there is no right or wrong. I'm not thinking much about it, right? You see how quick that we're doing this? And it's confident. I'm letting the market decide. I'm going to let the wall decide. This is going to be a piece that someone is going to want to hang on their wall more than a polar bear hair. Trust me. When people come over to the buyer's house, they're going to say, "Whoa, hold on, who did that painting? That's so raw. That someone even who's that artist that has the courage to paint like that? That's so raw." I remember when I was a kid, and that's the Tim Burton Batman. That's raw. Who is that? They're not going to ask about your polar bear hairs that it looks like you bought from the Bed Bath and Beyond. They're going to be asking about the artists who looked like they did it quick and was bold with their decisions. Yeah, Cy Twobbly, thank you. Yeah, and DuckTales, exactly. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. See, that just lets me know that you follow my videos. I need to do more reaction videos to some other artists. I got a list of artists that I want to do. I just been so busy over the past I've been so busy over the past month, from creating tools to meetings to all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to catch up with my content creation. So I think I should be able to get there next week, do some more reaction videos to some other artists. Those are always fun to do. So check this out. You see the symbol, right? I'm not going to try to be perfect with the symbol. I'm just going to go in with the big brush and I don't care. Like I'm just going to go in because it's all about the interpretation of it. Like you see how I'm doing this? I don't want it to be perfect. It looks better when you're not trying to be perfect of whatever the symbol is. There it is right there. There's our symbol. And then look, I'm just doing this. And then I could tighten it up after I could tighten this up after we dry it off a little bit. And then we'll add more layers onto it. That's going to make it super cool. Like, you see how quick I'm doing this? Like, I didn't go to art school. I'm just having fun. I'm a child right now. This is what children do. This is why children are the best artists. And then we throw it up on the market and we say, you know what? This painting is $2,000. Who's somebody to tell us that it's not? That's not $2,000. It only took you 15 minutes to do it. Now get back to your cubicle. Like, these people are so serious. People can't stand when you make money. People can't stand when people cannot. It's not even about people can't stand when you make money. It's people can't stand when you put yourself in a mindset that things should come easy to you. And then when they see that things do come easy to you, they can't stand it because then they did everything right in their life. And it was so difficult and it was so hard for them. They did everything right. How dare you try to circumvent that? Get back to your cubicle and spend 8 hours doing the polar bear hairs and then come back to your cubicle and do it again. And then you'll be done with the painting in 1 month. And then in a month, you got to get online and you got to market it and you got to put it out there for everybody. Tell them how hard it was that you went through depression painting that painting. And then hopefully that gallery will sign you a year later for that one painting. And then after 6 months later, that somebody's going to buy it. That's what you should do. Please. Nobody's got time for that. Those days is over with. You're not going to lie to me. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Tampa. That's where my studio's at. Let me know if y'all are having any buffering issues or sound issues. Let me know. But the buyer cares if it solves the empty wall problem. They don't care about how long it took you. They don't care about that you went through depression to do it. The buyer is like, you know what? I just bought a new house. I need to put something interesting on there. It looks like it's an interesting painting. Is it available? It buffered for about a minute, but then it came back. Okay. All right, so now this is the fun part for me, right? So I dried this off as much as I can. Now we're just going to go in with our crown, which is the Karen Dosh, and we're just going to do impressionism marks on it, right? And that's what's so cool. Like, look, I'll do a feat like this. So, for example, anytime I tell people, if you happen to get a reference piece and maybe it's too detailed, or maybe it looks like it's got too many detail marks or it's got linings in there, and you're like, oh, that reference is detailed, and it's going to take me forever to do it because I have to follow the detail reference. And I always to joke around, I tell people if there's a part in there that seems too complicated, just do a stick figure. Do a like a stick figure of the foot of a hand. Make it quick. Like you see how I did this foot right here? Like it's a stick figure, just drawing of it. People's going to respect that. They don't care about the detail thing. Make it look like that. You don't have to be detailed on whatever the reference lines are. Make your own. Like shortcut it. Shortcut it is what I'm saying. Like, you see me being detailed on this Batman hand? No, because I don't have time for it. And I'm not good on drawing hands, and that's why I use the projector. I'm just doing the proportions. I'm not good at drawing a hand by, if I wanted to do that, then that'd be boring. That defeats the whole purpose of why we're working with the projector. I didn't go to art school to know the symmetry of what a hand is in the shadows. I'm doing this so I can know the symmetry of what I want to play around with and then make it into my own. Let me see if there's something wrong with my internet here. Huh. Let me see. Just taking a quickie. All right. Just have to make sure. Hi, Nancy. Happy to have you here. Yes, you joined the elite community yesterday. Seen that. Greatly appreciate it. If you want, Nancy, you can send me a message inside the community, so that way I'll send you out a free projector because you joined yesterday with the VIP. You joined the VIP annual. Anyone who joins the elite annual VIP within a certain time frame, just send me a message and I might be gracious enough. I'll send you a free projector. So I'm going to send you a free projector because you joined yesterday with the elite. I greatly appreciate it. Happy to have you here. No other coach is going to do anything like that, right? The reason that I do is because I believe in my program, I believe in you, and I'm meeting you halfway. If I didn't believe in the things that we're talking about, if I didn't believe in our program, then I would never do anything like that. Nobody else does anything like that to meet you halfway. But that's what we're all about here. Right? Isn't that what we're all about here? That's what we're all about here. I'm looking for the black. I'm looking for my. Oh, here it is. My pastel. Yeah, just send me a message and send me your shipping address. I'll send that to you today. Now let's do something cool where it's like some skyscrapers, like some city background things. I like to do stuff like that when I'm doing comic books. And you see, like now I'm just freehanding and it doesn't matter. Just to throw some quick windows on there. The market's going to decide this because there's so many people out there who love superheroes, who love Batmans. Takes them back to their childhood. That's what we were just talking about. But then they're going to be like, dang, I've never seen a Batman like this though. That's cool. That's something I want. They're like, everybody else's Batman is so serious. Yours is so raw. Batman on a horse? How based is that? Come on. How cool is that? You kidding me? So now let's just tighten up some areas with the white so we can punch in these colors, and then we're done with this painting. I'm just gonna highlight some areas. But yeah, let the wall decides on eBay. That's why art sells here. Stop only thinking like an artist and start thinking like a home decor, like someone who's like in interior design. That's how I think. Maybe that's what helps me sell so much art and how I was able to sell so much art because I always think like someone who's I love interior design. I love interior decorating. Like if I to be honest, if I didn't go into being an artist or a painter, I would have gone into artistry by being a interior designer. I love interior design. I love looking at magazines like that and looking at interior design. Like that's something I'm really into. And who knows, life has its own chapters. Maybe when I retire, I'll just go into that. But I think that way. I think like an interior designer, what type of art would go into a home or anything like that. And these are things that you could also put into your mind. Now let's make this cool. What we're going to do up here is I'm just going to do a quick blue, like maybe a dark blue, and then that's it. Just to have it be the skyline. Nothing fancy. Boom. And there's our Batman right there, fighting all kinds of crime and stuff. Come on. How cool is that? This is the stuff that they sell in high-end galleries. And we just knocked this out like in 15, 20 minutes. All right. There we go, right there. Look at that. Come on. Stop playing. Stop playing. Look at that. Isn't that fun? I love it. I love it. See, when you have this mindset and this attitude and you feel good, like it's easier to show up to work. It's easier to show up to work than to be like, oh, I gotta produce all these serious paintings. Once you feel like that, it's just like it's annoying. It's like you gotta do homework. You gotta do work. In comparison to like, look, we're having fun. I could do this all day long and have fun and do this. This is how I was able to just sell so much because I'm able to just show up like a kid and have fun. I'm not taking it serious. Like I'm having fun. That's what it is right there. There's our Batman. On to the next. On to the next. Yeah, it's so freeing. It's so freeing, but I also play a game of my mind of how quick I can do it and also what I can get away with. Art is whatever you can get away with. That's also one of my favorite quotes too. Art is whatever you can get away with. So just get away with it. Get away with whatever. No one can tell you any different. All right, let's complete the series. I like to kind of do a series, especially when it comes to the Batmans and the comics or stuff like that. So I'm just going to do another Batman, but it's going to be an expressionism version of. It's going to be an expressionism version. Let's see here. There, there. Let's do this real quick. Let's knock this out. These are always fun. That way people get a chance to buy it in a pair if they want to. Scarecrow, awesome. That's an awesome idea. Oh, that watermelon juice. So good. All right, so good. Let's get on. If you haven't already, please leave a like in the video. Let YouTube know that we're doing God's business around here. We're out here saving lives. We're showing you how to get things done. We're showing you how to be loose, how to have fun, how to sell expensive art in such a quick amount of time. And we're being kids right now. We're having a great time. All right. Having a real good time. I'm having a blast with you guys. That's a great idea. Scarecrow next. That's cool. Stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right, let's do this. Again, what we're going to do, we're just going to take our water bottle and we're just going to wet it down a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with the large paintbrush, the two incher, right? We're going to take our dirty white and let's go in with some of the other colors first, like some of this. We're going to randomize our colors, the background, before we throw the white on, right? That way we're building on something. Now we go into our white and we can paint on top of that what we just put down. On this topic, we're going to be talking about stop waiting for permission to sell your art. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for permission to sell your art. That's also having your ego get in the way. You do not need a gallery to tell you that your artwork is good enough. You do not need your friends and family to tell you that your artwork is good enough. eBay will tell you that, the market will tell you that, and you'll see that people want your studies. I always say, if you want it, one of the fastest way to get your ego out of it is create a bunch of loose pieces like we're doing right now. You don't even have to put it on canvas because sometimes psychologically we treat canvas a little bit more serious. But just start off on pieces of paper, large pieces of paper, or maybe like a 17 by 14, a 14 by 11, something like that, and just get it done quick. But say this to yourself that it's just a study. You're doing a work study. It's just a work study. I'm just doing a work study. Say it to yourself that you're just doing a work study and then get it done. Say nobody's going to see it, but then at the end of it, you can list it anyway. So you can actually get paid to do a work study. And you don't have to wait for permission. You don't need a big following to start selling art. The cool thing about eBay and what I tell people is that if you want to be hidden and maybe you don't even want to be an artist and you just want to make money, if you just want to make money, then you can do that here. If you don't want to have your nosy coworkers in your business, your cousins who's trying to knock down your dreams, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, because we know how these people could also influence your mindset of things that you want to do, then you could do eBay and nobody has to know about it. You could be a ghost. Like I told you, I was a ghost on here selling art. Nobody knew what I was doing. You could be a ghost on here selling art. You don't need a big following. Anybody can start selling art. You can just get on here, be consistent, sell whatever art is. On eBay, people don't care, like on Instagram, who you are, the popularity contest, what your name is, what gallery you're connected to. None of that stuff matters. The only thing that matters is, did you make something that's authentic, something that's beautiful? Are you being consistent? That's it. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to be known as some artist. Because maybe a lot of times I always tell people, I'd rather people join the community who aren't trying to be an artist. And let's be honest, you're just trying to make money. And that's fine. I can help you with that, make money. So you don't have to be like, I'm an artist. Sometimes people think in order for them to sell art on Instagram or whatever, you have to put on the identity and the personality that you're a serious artist. And that's like, maybe I just want to make money from being creative because I like doing it when I was younger, but I don't want to put on the name that I'm an artist because then people are going to be like, oh, you're trying to be an artist now? And you got to put on this name, like this character, like now you're this new character where you have to wear this identity that you're an artist in order to sell art. And you don't have to do that on eBay. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense to you. Because that's like, I love that about eBay is that anybody can do it. Anybody can sell art without you having to pretend and put on this whole impression that I'm an artist and I'm trying to be I'm trying to be a gallery artist. Or I'm trying to be a museum artist. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just trying to make money. And this is a better opportunity and a better solution than getting a part-time job. I'd rather you be that, and I can help you with that. That's the type that I'm talking to. I'm talking to the people who maybe you just have a full-time job and you just want to do this part-time where you're making additional money, and that's fine. And you don't want to go out to have your friends and family and coworkers or whatever think that, oh, you're trying to be a gallery artist. You're trying to be like, you're trying to be famous. No, you don't have to be at all. You could just do art. And you could do art without no one being in your business or anyone getting in your mind. You don't have to have a big following to sell. I always love where people are so surprised when they get on, they have zero experience, they have zero followings, and then they're like, I was able to sell art. Yeah, because people don't care who you are on eBay. They don't care about the popularity contest of social media where nobody's buying your art and there's a 0% conversion rate. They care if it looks good or not, if it's authentic. I love that. Like, look how raw and quick I'm doing this. I'm just going straight into the money. That's what I call it. That's what I call it, going straight into the money. We're not waiting around. We're not waiting around for opportunities. No one's coming to save me right now. I'm saving myself. No one is coming to save me. I'm going straight into the money. I have to save myself. This is the way that I'm saving myself. I'm saving myself. I'm saving myself on camera with you right now. Have you ever think about that? No one is coming to save me. This, like, I don't have no 9 to 5. My 9 to 5 is right now. I'm saving myself. No one is coming to save me but me. I'm doing this fast. I have to save myself. I have responsibilities. I don't want to be broke anymore and playing the game. You don't need an art degree to list paintings on eBay. eBay's not asking for what your job qualifications are. Anywhere else in the world that as much money that we get paid, for as much money that we get paid, anywhere else in the world, or at least Western or in America, they're going to be asking for a degree to make as much money as that we make. Where's your degree at? Do you have a doctorate degree? I make more than doctors from just doing this. I'm saving myself. You don't need a degree to start listing. eBay's like, hey, you said you want a part-time job, right? That no one's going to know about. You want a part-time job that your friends and family don't know that you're actually working a part-time job. Like, you don't have to go to a brick and mortar mall or something that your coworkers, they're gonna, like, you're worried that somebody's gonna walk in one day and they're gonna see you working there. Oh, Johnny, you're working here part-time. Damn, times must be tough. Times must be tough for you, Susan. You're working here part-time. That's what they're gonna be thinking in their mind. No, you don't have to have anybody know. Your part-time could just be working at home and creating art and making more money than people who have a degree. You don't need a degree to sell art to do listings. I'm saving myself. So eBay's like, all right, you said you want a part-time job, right? Then cool. You can start today. Huh? Today? Yeah, you can start today. You can start today right now by doing listings. But what about the orientation? The orientation is right now. Are you going to show up to save yourself? Are you going to paint? Well, most people will jump through so many hoops to go to a part-time job somewhere, right? That's crappy hours, crappy pay. It's dehumanizing. You'll go through so many hoops. You'll get in the car, you'll commute, you'll drive, you'll inconvenience yourself. You got to inconvenience your family. You're not even home. But then if I say something as simple as, hey, paint like a child like this for 15 minutes, oh, that's too difficult. I'd rather get dressed, go get dressed up, go to an orientation, get a job interview, so I could work at the Payless shoes and at the mall. I could be a greeter or something like that. That's easier. You don't need an art degree. You don't need anything to do this. Can you list? Can you start today? eBay's like, can you start today? Dang, can you just start today? So quick to make excuse. No, I can, but what happened is, but then you get hired for a crap job and then you don't have no excuses for them. You could make it on time. So right now, while I'm been talking or whatever, it's been 10 minutes because I had the timer on. So now that it's 10 minutes, I know that I'm like, okay, I need to wrap this up in the next 5 to 6 minutes. Cause that's the time frame that I have when I'm doing 90 minutes and I need to do at least 6 canvases within the 90 minutes. That's an hour and a half. So if I could do that and I'm working, maybe I could just, if I'm part-time and I could just do 3 shifts of those a day, which is just 4.5 hours, then that means that I just completed 18 canvases without thinking about it. And that's part-time, 18 canvases a day. Now, of course, I'm full-time. So I know it sounds foreign in some videos where I'm like, you know, when I'm grinding, I'm pumping out 50 to 60 canvases. What? That sounds crazy. Yeah, I know. It sounds crazy to me too. I never thought that I'd be able to do it, but that's why we work off the time frames that we do. Because me, I get to a point where I'm playing a game with myself and I get better. Some shifts are better than others. Just because this is the thing, when I'm talking about our work shift and I'm talking about the 90 minutes, the real truth about the 90 minutes is that some 90 minutes you'll actually do 8 to 9 canvases. And then maybe some 90-minute shifts, you got some type of paintings that you spend a little bit more time on and you might just only do 6 to 7 canvases. But at least that you're on an average of what you have. And then by the end of the shift or whatever, you might, you can pump out like 20 to 28 canvases in a day, and then it'd be like nothing. And then you do that, and then eBay has no choice but to give you the numbers. They have no choice but to give you the sales. eBay's a multi-billion-dollar business. They're not going to be around in business if you think that all of a sudden it doesn't work for me, there's no sales. That's a lie, because that means that eBay's just going out of business. They have no choice but to give you the money. As long as I'm feeding the algorithm, I'm doing what I need to do, then I'm going to get my money. I put in my mind, eBay's a business just like I'm a business. I'm going to get the money. You don't need to you don't need to have like perfect confidence when you get started either when it comes to eBay. You get paid on the job. I didn't have perfect confidence either. My confidence only got better after knowing what the data was and seeing that people actually enjoy buying the artwork that I might have thought in my ego was ugly artwork or that nobody wanted. Then my confidence got better. That's why I always tell people like create fast, happy mistakes as quick as you can. So that way you can understand what's going to help you in your sales is understanding the market and the interpretation of what they're buying. Then you're going to be like, it's going to be easier for you to make artwork how I'm doing. I would never be able to have confidence in the artwork of what I'm building right now with you if I didn't understand that what the market doesn't care. They don't care about all these other hoopla stuff. They just care about the end result. And the end result is going to look so different. It's going to look so cool. Like what? They're going to be like, you know what? I'm on eBay all day long, or I'm on other marketplaces all day long, and I'm seeing all these other people who are doing this safe ass artwork who like looks the same, but I didn't see anything that looks like yours. Yours is like, you must have confidence to do that. And you have a different variation of you have a store of it. Not only do you have the auctions, but you have that type of artwork that's also available in your buy it now store. I want to buy it today so nobody else gets it. All right, let me dry this off so we can really start going into it and having fun. Can you give a bit more details on how the system works? Yeah, you can find out all the information. Everything is laid out for you inside of the Elite community. It's in the chat right now. So it's pinned to the top. You can click there and you can see everything for it. You could join. It's absolutely free. Also, we have a 7-day free trial period. So you can join and you can see everything. Everything is mapped out for you. So you can download all the templates that's there. It's no guessing game. They have a copy design. It's also a community where people can help you along the way. Everything is mapped out for you so you can start making sales on eBay. But if you have any questions or anything like that, then everybody is there to help you inside the community. It's not just a course that you just buy some PDF or something like that and then that's it and you're left alone. You have a 14-day, as soon as you start, you're going to have a 14-day sales orientation or a sales sprint. So that way you're going to get your first sale by the end of the 14 days. You're going to have your account built up properly. You're going to have small tasks every single day of things for you to do. That way you can build up your account and have everything going for you. So that way you can't be intimidated. Everything's built out. Even like what you should title your artwork. We have a tool in there. You press one button and it builds the title for you. If you want to know what reference is, we have tools in there where you can press one button and it pulls the references for you. We work off of a projector. So we use the proportions from there. You're already a creative person. The art is already inside of you because we're human. Wow, that's awesome. And I look, Spruce just said in here that he's able to do 40 now, and it might even sound like a lot. Aleph said that it might sound like a lot, but once you start doing it and once you start having the systems in place, it's like nothing. It's like clockwork, huh? Left. It's like clockwork, right? It's like I know it. Like when we start off saying 30 to 40, it sounds like a lot, like a mountain. But then once you start actually implementing it and having the working the systems in place, where we focus on the 90 minutes, it's like water. It's like nothing. It's like once you start doing it and implementing the system, you have more time in your day than people who work 9 to 5 jobs. You buy more freedom for yourself. You buy more time in your day once you work the system. And as long as you're disciplined enough just to work the 90 minutes or whatever and not fool around. The problem with people is that this is a business. And when you're a business, you're held accountable. But when you have a 9 to 5 job and you're used to that mindset for years, you're not held accountable. You're used to going into your job and you only work half of the time. The other time you're on your phone, you're on the emails, you're doing things to get by on your work shift. Let's be honest. I worked in corporate America too many years, and the whole time that you clock in at your job to the time you clock out, you're not working that whole time. You're doing things to fill the time. You're going to the coffee machine, you're getting tea, you're gossiping with your friends, you're on the chats or whatever, you're on emails, you're on internet, you're on your phone, you're doing all kinds of things. The only time that you're really working is you're working a realistic 4 hours out of your day, out of those 9 hours. The difference with us is you could work 6 hours here and make way more money. But the thing is, during those 6 hours, you just have to be accountable with working the 90-minute shifts. We work an hour and a half, then we take a break. Then we work an hour and a half, then we take a break. And we do this 6 hours to 7 hours. Our day's over with. You could come in early and do that. Also, if you join the community right now, red geranums. If you join right now, then I'll also will send you a free projector if you join the VIP, which is the annual, which is also the best bet because you actually save 40% on the membership, but also you get more access to a couple of the courses for free, which is the money mindset. So I always suggest for people to do that. But also statistically, the people who join statistically the people who actually join the VIP annual, they have more of a success rate. I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you the data. Geranium. Oh, the geranium flower. Red geranium. Thank you for that, discerning light. Now, this is the fun part for me because we're doing the expressionism part. This is the abstract part. This is anything that could come to our mind right now. But you don't need permission to just get started. You don't need perfect conditions before you begin. The only permission that you need is the decision to put the work on the market. And a lot of times people want to make more excuses about not doing that than just getting to work. You don't need permission. I always tell people to be successful, most of the things to be successful, it costs you nothing. It costs you nothing to wake up early in the morning. It costs you nothing to want to walk in your neighborhood or to try to be healthy, to wake up early, go to the gym, exercise, free your mind, journal. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing. Most of the things that become successful and have a healthy mindset cost you nothing. My actual name is Carolyn. Carolyn. I read a story as a kid about getting red geranium. It is a flower in the story that changed her whole messy life by clearing up her crap and organizing her life. I like that. So now I'm always going to remember that. Thank you so much for sharing that with me, Carolyn. Always, that's one thing about here. I always butcher names. I'm either dyslexic or I'm illiterate. All right. It's either one of those. We're just having fun right now. Now I'm just going to touch it up a little bit with some white impressions, and then that's it. And then we're going to go on to our next segment, which is going to be a little bit of the whiteboard, and we're going to be breaking down what is our whiteboard on today? Expensive. People thinking that it's expensive to start when it's not. Expensive upstart versus the low start or low cost. I want to, if you haven't already, please leave a like on this video. Also, leave me a super chat to let me know that you appreciate what we're doing here. That really means a lot to me as well. If you leave me a super chat, you can leave me a super chat as well if you have a question. I appreciate everybody here. Also appreciate everybody here for giving warm energy to new people that come. That's what makes the community so awesome, is that we're warm and welcoming to everybody who comes, and we're very supportive and helpful because we all been there. We know what it's like. We know what it feels like. And I love that. It's a blessing to God for me, because just think about it. I mean, if I don't know if y'all ever took the time out to think, but for all the years that I was selling art on eBay, I didn't have a community. I was doing this alone. So that's a lot of like internal thinking throughout the years. And it's just a great thing to have the community where we all support each other. Because I wish that I had something like this when I was going through my journeys and my trials and tribulations within selling art on eBay and having to learn along the way. Um, but now I'm blessed because you have to go through a lot of these things. Sometimes when you don't understand why you go through certain things until later on in life, where you realize that it was all to help other people. And I wouldn't have been able to do what I do now, to be able to help other people, which is the best blessing, if I didn't go through my own struggles and learning and trials and tribulations and figuring things out on eBay. So now it's just a blessing to be able to help people make money and do things for themselves. All right, let's get done with the fiddle faddle. We're done right now. Maybe I'll throw another bat right. Oh, bat right here. Bat. Right? Something like that. Bat. That's awesome, man. And that's great to hear. And I'm glad you shared that also yesterday with the community a lift about the program too on the free thing, how you could do it with Google, because that's awesome. And that's what we're here for in the community to figure out ways how we can work smarter, never harder. So I wish that I would have had that program, that system years ago of the how you did the grid. That's awesome. Like you could just put them 4 by 4. So if you read right now, Aleph said the system that helps him work very efficient is because of the way that he set up the paintings at a grid. Ever since he started doing that, he's been able to knock out like 4 paintings in under 20 minutes. So think about that. Like he's doing it. He's doing it. All right, so look, there's our crazy Batman right there. He's crazy. He's having a good time. People like stuff like that that's different because it gives them like, well, it's like a Batman slash you could call this like maybe like two-face Batman or skeleton Batman, something like that to have fun with it. It's something different. People see so many different Batmans, but they didn't see your version of this Batman right here. And this is something that you could do. I popped this out by using the AI prompt, the reverse, and you could do it as well. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. All right. So now we're about to go into our segment right now, which is going to be expensive. Thinking that people think that it's going to be expensive to start your art career versus low cost on eBay. All right. So I'm going to take a quick commercial break so I can do a setup change, and then we're going to get into it. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you were already an artist, you were already a creator, and you were already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or any outdated ways that they say that you have to sell art. Everything is already mapped out for you on eBay, where they already have the market there for you. I've sold over 17,000 paintings on eBay, and I did it by being a ghost. I wasn't on social media. I didn't use it to market. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just focused on being on eBay, and you can too from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to art fairs. You don't have to try to get new networking or anything like that. Everything is mapped out for you. So, like I said, you don't have to be tech savvy. I have a system where you could copy and paste all the things in there. I have videos of how you can set up your account. I have everything there for you so that way you could get started. You get started with a 14-day sales activity challenge. That way you could get your first sales, and then you could get your first transactions. You're going to have your first sales by the time that you're done with the 14-day sales activity. But the best part is that you're not alone. You're going to be having a supportive community that's going to be there along with you. Other courses, they just have where you're going through it alone and you're just trying to figure it out. But here, you're always going to have a full supportive community of people who already succeeded, who already gone through the steps, and will help you along the way. And you can ask any questions. And we also have a weekly Q&A call where you can ask me any questions. All right. So you have nothing to lose. Look, everything in the world has gone up in pricing. So give yourself a chance right now where you can make some additional income for yourself, for your family, and see what you want to do. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you were already an artist, you were already a creator, and you were already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following. All right, we're back. We are back, we are back, we are back. And we're going to be breaking down expensive dreams versus the low cost of eBay. All right. So people thinking that it's going to be expensive, people thinking that you need to have an LLC to start, people thinking that you need to have an attorney, people thinking that you need to have certain type of documents. I need to have a business account. I need to have all this stuff. I mean, we are the cheapest upstart of any business. You know that businesses, they have to upfront thousands of dollars of just to start their business, just so they can get started. Do you understand that? Like people have to have so much money, and then after they do all of that, they have to pay for a brick and mortar. They had to pay for a business. Then once they do all of the physical stuff that they had to pay for, they actually had to spend money on the advertising. They had to spend money on the marketing, and That stuff is super expensive. And you don't even know if you're going to be making any money on the back end. So that's why a lot of businesses, they go out of business, is because they have to pay so much money on the front end. Now, the front end, how they're able to get their money, those are usually how they get their business loans. So I feel bad when I seen a lot of businesses come and go during my time, and I'm always blessed and thankful to God. That's why I really share the blessing with you, and tell you like how you're in a great situation where you don't have to go through the startup of other companies and other people where they lose their business, and they lose their business because they had to put up the business loan up front just so they can try to upstart the engine on their business, and they had to put all the money up, and then hopefully they're gambling on themselves that they could turn a dime, but they had to pay off the business loan to the bank that they needed in order to do it. Or in other situations, which is also sad, and I've seen people go out of business, is that they used all of their life savings that they had from when they worked a 9 to 5 corporate job. They were scraping by, and they were doing everything that they could to try to make the money. And then they saved up enough so they could start their dream business. And then they used all of their savings, and then they used it for marketing. They used it for the cost, and then they lost it all. It's really heartbreaking, man. It really is, because I've seen a lot of businesses go out of business. I've seen a lot of people, good people, go out of business over the past 4 years. After 2020, it just really was a destruction on the American economy. And I just seen a lot of people like lose things. And I was always fortunate enough where it's like, dang, I'm still in business, and my upstarts are very low. I don't have overhead where I have to pay for employees. Like, we don't have any of these type of things. Like, our most expensive thing really is that we have to get canvases. Each canvas for us is $1.45. And we also have a tool inside the community that breaks down your profit points, so you can actually know how much cash that you're putting in your pocket after eBay takes their cut, after they take their fees, and how much after we pay for the little equipments and things like that. If you're in the elite community, I also did a quick update on there so that way it could give you more of an accurate cost on there. So you can play around with that just so you can have an understanding of how many canvases, how many things that you need to do in your day, so you can get maybe a profit point of whatever you're looking for to pay your bill at the end of the month. All right. So the first thing that we're talking about is, when it comes to the expensive mindset, is thinking that business needs to have overhead, expensive overhead. You're thinking that business needs to have overhead, meaning that you have to have employees to start off with. You need to have a lawyer. You need to have a I was going to say doctor. You need to have all these different things that you need to start off with. And you don't. You have to keep it simple. When I first started off with eBay, I was painting on the floor. I was painting in the kitchen. I was painting in the living room, on the living room table, all right, in a studio apartment. I was starting off very small, just so that way I can build myself up and I can invest back into my business, into myself. So you don't need to think when you're starting off that you need to have an expensive overhead, or you need to have employees. Like, your best employee that you can have starting off, and it's also a great mindset, is your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, even your kids, because that way it puts into your mind that you're held accountable in your mind, and you also have people that's depending on what you're doing. They're part of it, but also it's cool because you could just say, hey, on the weekend, we're going to have a dinner together. I'm going to take you out to eat. I'm going to whatever. And you don't have to pay for the overhead. You just have to pay them with, like, a good dinner or a good time or something like that. And it's also a blessing because they're going to be more involved in your business. So that's a good thing that you have right there. Compared to low cost when it comes to eBay, we're just talking about keep the startup simple. We're just keeping it simple. It's simple setup. Simple setup. Like I said, when I started off, very simple. I was in the kitchen floor, studio bed, table. And the cool thing is, what I always talk about is record your journey. So I have pictures of these things that I share with you as well. I have videos where I shared these old pictures with you and how I worked, how I was on the table, how I was in the kitchen floor, starting off grinding. I didn't have a studio. I didn't have 2 studios. I didn't have none of that stuff, right? And I worked my way up by keeping it simple and having the overhead low. The best thing about the community right now, the best thing about you being here is that I have so many years of experience to tell you how to keep everything low to almost free. So I have a full supply list for you inside the community where it prompts you on things, what to get for free. So you don't have to spend money starting off. You don't have to worry about, like, our supplies is practically free to ship out. You don't have to worry about so many different things. I have a whole list in there so that way your whole business pretty much starts off for free. All right. For free or almost low cost. All right. Simple setup, record your journey. You're going to be thankful when you record your journey to see how far you came in your business and your simple setup. Compared to assuming that you think you need a fancy studio. You don't need a fancy studio. Like I said, I'm blessed to God now that I have 2 studios. I have a studio here in LA. I have a studio in Tampa, Florida. And the only reason that I was able to do that is because I was able to get my investments. I was able to get the money back from eBay. eBay put me into the situation where I was able to do that. But like I said, starting off, I didn't have the opportunity to have anything like that. I couldn't even dream of having a place like this where I could just have a place to go to work. Was like one of my dreams, is just having a studio, a place where I could show up, go to work, do my paintings, and then have the artwork that's outside of the house. Because it was getting to a point where I was having so much artwork, and you know the feeling where you're having your shelves there and it's just like, it feels like the artwork was flowing. But it was even worse when I was gallery artist and I had so much artwork like that, because then it was like, I'm not a storage facility. I need to get rid of this art. So eBay put me in a situation where I could scale up my business. I don't need a fancy studio to start off with. Only thing you need is a table, a kitchen table, your house, and just some paint, and just get the work. Get the work and you will get there. In comparison to when it comes to eBay, use what you already have. Use what you have. Use what you have. We have to be resourceful. We have to be resourceful in what we do. Just be resourceful. I'm still resourceful to this day, because like I told you earlier, as an adult, I've had way more time, way more years of being poor, being broke, and trying to always think about different ways to make money than me making the money. All right. I've had way more time when I was just like struggling and figuring things out. So my mind is kind of stuck on that. I'm kind of like the baby boomers who were born from the generation of the Great Depression or something like that. Or their parents came from the Great Depression time like that, being raised by parents like that. I don't know. My mindset is like that, where I'm always going to be frugal. I'm always thinking about, okay, do I want it or do I need it? So just use what you have, be resourceful, and then that way you can save more money. I'm able to save more money, make more money, and I'm able to have more blessings come to me in my life by me being resourceful and then having the money flow that way. I always say this in every video. People always go, hey, well, the rich get richer and the broke stay broke. Yeah, the broke stay broke because the broke is in a mindset of always wanting to spend the money. The rich stay rich because usually they're in a mindset of like, I already have everything that I want. Do I want it? Do I need it? The more money that I have that comes towards me, it's like the more money that comes towards me. I don't know if I said that right, but when you're resourceful and you use what you have, and you're not thinking about the money going out, and you're just keeping the money and you're focused on the money that's coming in, you're going to get more opportunities of more and more money coming to you. That's just how the universe flows. It flows that way. I promise you. Use what you have, be resourceful. Try to exit things out that you don't need. You don't need all these fancy, you don't need fancy paint. You don't need fancy startups. Expensive dreams is waiting to be like perfect supplies. Like, let's see here. We're going to put pricey supplies. I'm guilty of this. When I started off, I was spending so much money on Golden Brand. Golden Brand, to all my artists out there who know about Golden Brand acrylics, like that stuff is expensive. You already know that Golden Brands is expensive. That stuff is expensive. And all of my artwork, I was spending so much money on Golden Brands. It's just crazy now that I think about that, now that I think back on it. And even me now, I would never go back to doing golden brands. I don't need it. So I use a cheaper version, but in my mind at the time, I thought that it equated to my quality. I thought that people cared. You think that artists or buyers on eBay, they care about what brand of paint that you use? The only people who are making money off of that are the people who are selling the shovels, which is golden brand or the expensive brands out there who know that that's more for amateur people who don't have the business mindset, or people who just got out of art school and thinking that it makes a difference, and galleries are going to respect it more. It doesn't matter about the paint brand. Just start off with a cheaper paint brand, cheaper paint. I have a supply list of what I've been using for years, and you could get it all online. Everything is there for the supply list. Very cheap stuff that I use. I use either Liquitex or paint from Hobby Lobby. It doesn't matter, the acrylic. It really doesn't. It's more about the artist itself and you. But I mean, I have a full supply list for you, so that way I told you, your startup is very minimum. In comparison to eBay, we buy basic supplies. Basic supplies. Why do we buy basic supplies? Not only, look, I'm gonna be honest, not only do I buy basic supplies because it's economically and financially responsible, but I buy basic supplies because it's going to give me more of a psychological advantage when I'm creating. We all understand how it feels. Most times we want to create Mona Lisas because we understand that the supplies that we're using is expensive and we want to make it worth its while. Oh, well, I bought this paint and it's super expensive. It's golden brand. I bought this canvas and it's a super stretch level 3. Like, you don't need that type of stuff. That's not important. And a lot of times what happens when we're thinking about these type of things, it doesn't free us up to just want to create. The cheaper the supplies, the better art choices that you're going to make. That's why I like to have either cheap paint, cheap supplies. And I don't want to say cheap because it still adds up. It's still great quality paint that I use. I use either Liquitex or I use a lot of the paint from the acrylic from Blick's art store. It's great quality, but it's more of a value. You get a value. I'll even use the Michaels brand, which is Artist Loft. And I'll use some of that for backgrounds or different colors. It's great quality. It's great value. The better value that you have in your supplies, the more that you're able to make better artistic decisions, because you're not thinking about, well, every paintbrush that I do, it costs this amount of money. In your mind, you're going to be thinking that subconsciously in the back of your mind. You're going to think that every decision that you make, every brushstroke that you make is cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. You're going to be thinking that it costs you money. But then also when you're trying to sell it, you're going to be thinking that it needs to be sold at whatever price point of a Mona Lisa. Because man, the buyer doesn't understand that I spent so much money. The buyer doesn't understand that I spent so much money buying the supplies. They don't understand that I bought gold paint, not golden brand, but actually gold paint. I used to do stuff like this. And the reason that I was doing it is because I was trying to circumvent a way of being a better artist by buying better supplies. So I used to buy a bunch of different mediums. Thick mediums, mediums, chunky mediums, impasto. I used to buy gold flakes. Thinking that it was going to make a difference in what the market was. Ooh, the market's going to know this is gold flakes. So they're going to come out and buy it in droves. They don't care because they only care about the results. They don't care about like how much you spent. But I used to spend so much money buying all the tools, all the supplies like a kid in a candy shop. All right. I did it. And you only need basic supplies. It's going to help you psychologically on creating better, making better decisions, being frugal, being resourceful. Number 4 is believing that you need a big brand. You need to have a big brand. The expensive dream is thinking that you need to be some type of gallery artist. You need to be a museum artist. You need to also be an influencer on social media. You need to post 3 times a day to let them know behind the scenes what's going on in your studio. You need to also be the king marketer of your thing. You need to let them know that you're having an exhibit once every single month. You need to let them know that you have a newsletter that's going out. And in the newsletter, you need to also recreate the newsletter every single day to have a new topic in there to send out to people and have it timed out. Then after you have it timed out, you need to let them know in the new newsletter that you're going to have an art fair and this is the location that you're going to be so they can come see you in person. You got to have a brand. I mean, people don't understand. In order to be an artist nowadays, people think you need to be a brand where you just want to create art. You just want to create art, but now they made it to a point where you have to be a brand where you have to do 20 different things. You have to have a checklist of 20 different things and you have to do it all by yourself. Like you used to just have to be an artist. Now you got to be an expert marketer. You have to also write your ads out. You got to be a copywriter. You got to be creative. You got to be an influencer. You got to have a personality. You got to tell a funny joke. And on top of that, in order for you to sell the brand of whatever the art is, you got to be a poet as well, because we all know that the artwork has to be so majestic. And then it comes from the waterfalls of, it reminds us of the waterfalls of the Nicaraguan forest and the sunlight that comes through. And then I was thinking of when I was a child on the bus stop, all this stuff that you have to think of to be a big brand. And it just gets exhausting. Then when it becomes exhausting, it's going to get to a point where you're going to burn out. You're not going to want to do that in comparison to the low cost. I'm not just talking about the low cost financially. We're talking about the low cost on your spirit, on your mind, and on your energy. This is very low maintenance, low cost. So comparison to when it comes on eBay, you just let the sales pay for the next round. The sales will pay you. You just let the sales pay for the next round. Just let the sales be your investment. The sales, when you're just focusing on this, on the low cost, the sales from here will help you invest back into your business. When I was here trying to do the expensive stuff, I always had to come out of my own pocket. I was always robbing Peter to pay Paul. I was always going broke. Also, before I forget, I want to say big thank you to the super chat on there for the super chat on there for $5 asking me a question if I paint my sides. You can paint your sides or your edges. It's just not something that I do because I paint so much and I never have an issue with any buyer who says, oh, how come you don't do it? If it's a commission painting, like someone actually paid me a little bit more and they want a gallery type of piece where it's something custom and commission, then I'll paint the sides for them. But when it comes to like the artwork that I do on eBay and all of my stuff, I don't do it anymore. I used to, but I don't do it anymore. It's not worth the time. I know it probably some people's like, oh, it's not a lot of time. Trust me, seconds add up to minutes, minutes add up to hours. Everything adds up. I don't waste time on painting the sides no more. I'm just on to the next one. So you don't have to paint the sides. It's not a big deal. People understand that they're buying your art from eBay. If they want their sides painted, then they know they're going to have to pay a little bit more money from you and maybe get something commissioned or something special. But most times people are okay with it. But what also is going to do is it's going to force people to buy want to upgrade and maybe buy a frame from you. So if they want their edges hidden, hey, you want to upgrade, you want to buy a frame. Remember, Burger King, McDonald's, and fast food places, they don't make money off just their burger. They make their money off of upgrading you to if you want the drink and fries. So we want to upgrade people to see if you want that frame. And then with the frame, they can hide their own edges off of there. But I'm not going to paint it for them so they can hide their edges and they can just do it like that. No, you want to upgrade and here, you could get this beautiful frame. Then they'll end up doing that. If they don't do it on the first order, they'll do it on the second order because they remember on that first order that maybe you didn't paint the edges. So they'll be like something great for there. So I just want to say a thank you for that super chat. I greatly appreciate it before I forget and just gave you a shout out. All right. So now back to it. You could invest back into your business easily on here. I was always paying Peter to rob Paul. I was always going broke. But with eBay, I'm always able to invest back into my business. It's easy for me to go back and buy Golden Brand paint. Or no. It's easy for me to go back and buy Liquitex paint. It's easier for me to go back and pay to buy Blix art. It's easier for me to invest back into my business and buy things that are low overhead, to buy my canvases in bulk. When I'm here, I'm going broke and I'm always in the red and I'm paying out of pocket just so I could pay for expensive stuff. And I'm also going broke in my mind trying to be a big brand and do all this other stuff. I'm never getting the money. I'm looking on the outside in. On the outside, people think that you have money and money's coming towards you. Oh, you're doing all these things, you're doing all this stuff, but people don't really understand that you're going broke. You don't have no money. That's the thing that's crazy. People don't realize it. Like, yeah, I look like it from an influencer standpoint. That's why I don't believe anything of social media, because on the outside it looks like these things, but you're not bringing the money in. Now, from the expensive dream standpoint, you're going to be spending money first and learning later. So you'll spend first with no data points. And this talks about what we were saying. Like, you're going to be spending money first. You're going to be spending money up front. You're going to be spending your money up front. Where does the money come from up front? That means that you have to have a 9 to 5 to really make it work or something. I don't believe in these artists that act like they're just doing these one pieces a day, or I mean one pieces a week or a month, and they're going to their studio and they're an influencer and they got this studio, they got these like, how are you paying your bills? I don't believe that. You're a trust fund baby, or you're being sponsored somehow through money laundering of a like something. I don't believe in that though. It's not practical. You have to spend your own money first. And in this day and age, in this economy, how many people actually have their own money to spend up first to do their own brand and all this stuff without the money coming? And then you just have to hope and pray that on the back end that the money's going to come back to you. You hope and pray on the back end that it's going to come back to you a month later, months later, a year later. If a gallery recognizes me, you better hope and pray that a gallery does not recognize you. You know why? Because if a gallery recognizes you, they're going to tell you that you have to spend more of your own money up front just to get prepared to on your own branding and spend more money on larger canvases and more equipment and more time. And then they're promising you, hey, but when you have this great exhibition, this great show, then we're going to be able to sell your artwork. No, they're not. It's going to be a champagne party. And then you're going to be like, you did all this up front. But where do you get the money from to do it up front? You have to have a 9 to 5. But if you have a 9 to 5, you're going to be killing yourself worse than you will on eBay. Way worse, because then you don't even have the time to sleep. You're going out and you're doing a 9 to 5, but then you also have to create the artwork to when you're done. And then you're mentally drained. It's just crazy. Just so you could do like one piece a month. It's not even worth it. Those days are over with. So you have to spend all the money up front and you're losing the money and you're gambling hard on yourself. With eBay, you don't even have to spend the money up front. eBay spends the money up front for you. eBay spends $3 billion a year on the marketing up front. That's them spending the money. And then you only pay the promos or a discount after the artwork sells. So if your artwork sells, then you're going to share the profit with them. You don't even spend any cash. The cash comes from the buyer. Once they purchase it on eBay, then eBay already takes out whatever the promo fees is or the discounts. And I have all those broken down for you as well inside the community of what the discount rates and how to set that up for yourself. You pay on the back end. You don't even have to put no money up. So that's why I say you could do this for free just starting off. You don't even have to worry about it. They're paying everything up front. And here with eBay, you can learn on a small budget. So you get paid on the job, paid on job. You get paid on the job to get better. You get paid on the job to build up your business. You get paid on the job to invest more in yourself. You get paid on the job to increase your inventory. eBay's giving you the opportunity where they're meeting you halfway to build up your business. No one else cares about your business like that. You got to build up your own thing. You got to spend everything up front. eBay's just asking you to show up, be consistent, and then scale yourself up. You're getting paid on the job to become better. I love that part because when I look back at my journey, I'm always able to see how far that I came. And I'm like, whoa, people paid money for that? I can't believe that I had collectors who was constantly coming back to me to buy those ugly pieces. Because now I feel like I've painted so much. I'm a better artist now, naturally, because I've done it so many times. But I'm thankful to God because eBay's the only place that people were paying me to on the job. Number 6 is that with the expensive dream, you build proof, not fantasy, right? So here, or actually with the expensive dream, you make the start too heavy. It's just making the start too heavy. So we're going to put heavy start. It's so difficult. When you do it this way, it's so difficult to start because inertia. It's so difficult because you have all these different things that you got to think of. Think about when you're thinking about all the traditional ways, the pricey supplies. You got to have a job. You got to have money. You're not a trust fund, baby. So you don't have, like, you got to be a big brand. You got to spend money up front. You got to do the pricey golden brand paint. You got to have the fancy studio or have everything ready. If you think about all these things for a normal person, for average humans, for average artists, that's a heavy start. That's psychologically, I don't even want to do it now. I thought that I want to do it, but everybody's right. Like, it's just too much. Now it's too much. Like, I'm going to be a starving art. This is why people say starving artist. This is starving artist, the expensive dream. You're a starving artist because look at this. Who wants to do that? Who wants to do that? That's way too much work. Like, nobody wants to do this. You're a starving artist like this because you're going broke at the beginning and you're gambling on a way that doesn't really make the money because you're going a traditional route, and they know that. Compared to eBay, you're building the proof. Not the fantasy. You're being practical. You're building proof. One of the new segments that I love inside this live stream, what we do after we do the whiteboards, is we do the artist spotlight, where we do actual stories of people who are building the proof. And they would never know it unless they put the artwork out there without putting the data points out there. And the point of those is to show that, hey, if I can do it, then you can do it. But if they can do it, then you can do it, right? They're building the proof why they're building their business up. Here, you have such a heavy start. You have to do all this stuff. Like, you have to have such a heavy mindset at the beginning to do this. Why do you think people have such a bad taste in their mouth whenever they see a musician who's a millionaire, an actor who's a millionaire? All of a sudden, they want to jump in and they want to do this, right? They want to be an artist. They want to be a gallery artist. And then they get their own studio. They have their own stuff. It's a disgusting feeling. If you ever read the comments on these people who are already like rich and are a celebrity in their field, and then all of a sudden they jump in to being a traditional gallery artist, if you read the comments, people are disgusted by it. They're disgusted by it because it's like, oh, you're pretty much a trust fund baby, and it must be easy for you to do it this way because normal people can't do it that way without you being crazy in the head. Or you know someone, because afterwards, if you're that celebrity, the artwork is not even about the artwork. It's about your connections of who you know. And when you sell the artwork, it's not because based off the art, it's based off of, oh, well, actually, this celebrity made it. This musician made it, right? And normal people don't have that because they're not already a brand of you being a celebrity or whatever. They're not buying the pricey supplies. And then afterwards, you already have the connections through the gallery so they could flip your work or whatever. Here, you're already building the proof out the gate from here. And you're just someone who's online going to the marketplace, and you don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be a big brand. Normal people can't. It's a heavy start. That's a heavy start. I wouldn't want to do it. It's stressful. If I did it in the past, and it was like almost driving me crazy. It was driving me crazy. That's why I was able to go to eBay and be so thankful for the opportunity, and I was able to make something from it because I've done this. And it was one of the worst things, close to depression. And it's even more dire if you're in like a relationship, you know, like you must have a loving, supportive, loving husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. A lot of people don't have that. So it's even worse if you're even in a new relationship. People can't understand that you're going through this broke cycle of trying to be a startup and be a brand and all this stuff. But it's like, where's the money at? You're just sitting around on this artwork that you're not selling. You're not a celebrity or a musician or whatever. All right, so the last point is talking yourself into delay. Because of the heavy start, you're going to do paralysis by analysis. You're going to do more paralysis. You're going to have more paralysis by analysis because you're thinking about all these things. And it's understandable. Where do you start at? How much money do you need to have to start? When it comes to eBay, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is what I tell everybody. You only need to start off with eBay. Most people only need $150 to start. $150 to start, that's free compared to any other business startup. I'm not going to say it's completely free and you could be homeless on the street and then you could just do this tomorrow. No, that's impossible. Nothing is free in America. You still need a phone or a PC. You still need a paintbrush. You still need a projector of what we use. You can't be completely poor and do what we do, but this is pretty much almost a free startup. If I didn't have $150 today, I damn sure would either do something for a part-time job. I would get an Uber, do DoorDash. I would do anything so I could get my first $150. And then I would start up my business and I would be able to scale it up from here. That's how I know it's possible, because I scaled up my own business on eBay. I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything because I was here. I was so broke. This broke me. There's low risk, which makes starting easier. This is low risk. It's low risk. You know what the only risk is? The only risk is that you're not listing. Only thing that you have to do is list the artwork. Like I always say, the things that become successful is usually things that are free, that cost you nothing. It costs you nothing to list. You could get a store on eBay that costs $5 a month, and then you could scale up from there where you're just listing. You're just listing the artwork. Put yourself out there, and then you can get the sales. Compared to here, and this is high risk. This is extremely high risk. Okay? So I just wanted to break this down right here. The expensive dreams of being a traditional artist and everything that you have to do in comparison to the low cost of our startup on eBay, which is less than $150 to even start. It can even be less than that for most people because you already have some of these supplies to start off with. Maybe you already have some of the golden brands or some of the paint from when you were doing this type of stuff, right? Or maybe you already have like most of the things anyways. But if you don't, then $150 to start off with to have a business today, and you can start making the sales. You don't need an LLC to start off with. You don't need a business account. You don't need all of these other things. Stop procrastinating and doing paralysis by analysis, thinking that you need to be perfect and you don't. Only thing you need to do is get started. eBay's like, hey, when can you start? I can start today. When's your orientation? It's today. It's right now. So that's what I got for you right there. Wanted to break that down. Hope that's a big help for you because this is a huge help for me. It helps me get out of the mindset of where I used to be at, and it puts me in a mindset to be grateful for where I'm at right now. All right. So I'm about to go back to painting right now. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you were already an artist, you were already a creator, and you were already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or any outdated ways that they say that you have to sell art. Everything is already mapped out for you on eBay, where they already have the market there for you. I've sold over 17,000 paintings on eBay, and I did it by being a ghost. I wasn't on social media. I didn't use it to market. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just focused on being on eBay, and you can too from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to art fairs. You don't have to try to get new networking or anything like that. Everything is mapped out for you. So like I said, you don't have to be tech savvy. I have a system where you could copy and paste all the things in there. I have videos of how you can set up your account. I have everything there for you so that way you could get started. You get started with a 14-day sales activity challenge. That way you could get your first sales, and then you could get your first transactions. You're going to have your first sales by the time that you're done with the 14-day sales activity. But the best part is that you're not alone. You're going to be having a supportive community that's going to be there along with you. Other courses, they just have where you're going through it alone and you're just trying to figure it out. But here, you're always going to have a full supportive community of people who already succeeded, who already gone through the steps, and will help you along the way. And you can ask any questions. And we also have a weekly Q&A call where you can ask me any questions. All right. So you have nothing to lose. Look, everything in the world has gone up in pricing. So give yourself a chance right now where you can make some additional income for yourself, for your family, and see what you want to do. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you are already an artist, you are already a creator, and you are already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or any outdated ways that they say that you have to sell art. Everything is already mapped out for you on eBay, where they already have the market there for you. I've sold over 17,000 paintings on eBay, and I did it by being a ghost. I wasn't on social media. I didn't use it to market. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just focused on being on eBay, and you can too from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to art fairs. You don't have to try to get new networking or anything like that. Everything is mapped out for you. So like I said, you don't have to be tech savvy. I have a system where you could copy and paste all the things in there. I have videos of how you can set up your account. I have everything there for you, so that way you could get started. You get started with a 14-day sales activity challenge. That way you could get your first sales. All right, we're back. We are back. So let's see here what we have in the comments right there. This is the segment right here where I would probably go like, if I had a soundboard, that was a great moment. That was a great thing. So if you greatly appreciate what we just had right there on the whiteboard, if you appreciate the knowledge that I dropped right there, then let me know in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you haven't already. Leave me a super chat to let me know you appreciate it, or any question that you're going to have or that you do have, and I'll answer it. I greatly appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. Lets me know that, we're doing a good thing. We can continue doing this, and also lets YouTube know that we can continue doing it. It really helps me with my analytics and my data to know what's strong, what works, and what doesn't work. All right, so let me know in the comments you appreciate the whiteboard, what you appreciate about it. Leave me a like, leave me a super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see here what we have here. Exactly. Y'all already know the artist. All right, I didn't want to name any names. I'm still not going to name any names, but yes, it's very crazy that some of these people can get into the market, and then these pieces sell for more than Picasso sell. And then it comes out to who's connected to who's buying the art. And it's not always what you think it is. It's usually, it's most of the time it's money laundering, or it's pay for play, because it's connections to favors to political. All right, I'll just leave it like that. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. You've never heard of these people paint before or anything. Then all of a sudden they come out and their pieces, all of them sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then, who's their daddy? Who's their uncle? Whatever. And then, it's nothing. It's very innocent. Oh, right. We're not dumb. And that's why a lot of galleries have gone out of business recently as well too, is because the jig is up. The jig is up. People found out about it. A lot of it was connected to pay for play and money laundering. So now on this segment right here, we're going to have a segment right here that I'm really excited about, where we're going to be talking about artist spotlight, and that's for people who have been successful inside the eBay community, people who've been able to make it work for themselves. And I'm going to be able to read some of these right here. So let me go into it. And yeah, we can go into some of the winners right here. Today I'm gonna choose two winners that I'm really excited about. Not winners, but they're winners in their own circle, where they've been making things happen for themselves. They've been consistent. They've been making the sales. Look, if they can do it, you can do it. These things are really good. I'm really excited to read this segment right now to you about people are able to make it happen to themselves. And the cool thing about having this segment is that everybody gets inspiration off of this. Everybody can know that they can do it. You can reach out to these people to figure out how they're doing it. But also the cool thing about it is that every single day that we're having these live streams, we're having new testimonies in here about people who are making the sales for themselves. So that way, no one could ever doubt anything that we're doing who's not part of the initiated like us, who's not part of our movement, who's not part of the community. It can get to a point where every day we're having this, and we're having these testimonies where the proof is already in the pudding. All right, fine. You don't have to, I always say, you don't have to believe what Corbellic is saying at all, but right, we already have the numbers, and we have the members who are already making these things happen for themselves. And if they can do it, you can do it. Like, what could you do with an extra $2,000, $3,000 in your pocket, right? I could think about a bunch of things that I could do about it. So let's get into it right now so I can share some of these great people with you. All right, let's see here. The first one that I'm going to start off with is we have Lee here. Make sure that we have this fine. Just making sure that we're good. Oh, perfect. Okay. So we have Lee here who wrote in the community. She wrote that her buy it now sales are picking up with at least one pretty much every day now. Sent one out the door today that she was reluctant to see go, especially at the price that they countered with her offer, but she accepted it. And that's really important too, because you're going to make more money once you're open to offers. So I'm about to give you elite game right now, or elite gems right now. If you're here right now to listen, be open to the offers. Don't be sad about it because we're not a storage facility, but also be open to the opportunity, because what's going to happen, eBay's going to see that you're open for business. eBay treats our store like it's a brick and mortar. And if they see that your store light is open and you're not like waiting long, or you're not declining offers, or you're not even around to accept an offer, then they're not going to give you the opportunity to make more offers. So what happens is in the algorithm, as soon as you accept the offer, even though it doesn't feel good, I like to accept them because I know that what eBay's going to do, they're going to know I'm open for business and they're going to give me more offers even that day. All right. So that's a gem right there. And check this out. She says this. She goes, especially at the price that they counted her offer, but she accepted. She says her ego had to go out the door with it. But to balance that out, just minutes ago, she got paid for a buy one, get one free sale for the total of 2 pieces. The total was $175, which they got for $92. They are very happy about it, and I am very happy about it. But the best part is that both of these are part of my daily 1-minute timer pieces. She says $92 for literally 2 minutes of work. I can live with that. She's got $100 for 2 minutes of work. Okay. These are the things that we're talking about. It doesn't need to be polar bear hairs. It doesn't need to be all these different things of what you're thinking about that all add up into so many hours or so many times in your day. It could just be simply broken down into this. And you can see these are the pieces right here that she created. If I'm able to open it. Oh, that's fine. But you can see them right there. And this is just a great story because I was able to work with her. I was able to tweak a couple things onto her account and just working with her on a one-on-one, and it's already paid off. So her having a one-on-one with me, it's already paid her to have the one-on-one, and she's already been making the money back. The other day over the weekend, she was able to have 42 sales as we were able to read the other day. But this is just something that was as recent as this morning that she wrote, and that's just great to see right there, because if she can do it, you can do it. She had no experience prior to starting off in the community, never painted, and they're already making $100 for 2 minutes of work. Or you could be in your mind thinking that your ego's getting in the way and you're not even making $100 for an hour, 2 hours. You're taking forever thinking that it matters, and it doesn't matter because you can see how loose the artwork is, but people want to buy that authenticity from you. You can look right there at the type of artwork that she created. It's very beautiful. It's very minimum and it's very loose. It only took her, she timed herself where she's playing the game of making the money. And then the thing is, how it works is for her, how she's creating in her work shifts when she's doing this, by the time that it sells and when it did sell, it's passive income for her because she's already created that maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and she's forgot about it because she's been creating more. So when that sells, cool, it's already in my inventory. I kind of forgot about it because I've already been making more artwork since then, and that's passive income. And the cool thing is like when I go on vacation, when I go out of town, I'm still able to sell pieces and it's passive income for me. My store, my inventory is still always working for me where I could be making sales. So I just wanted to show that on there. That was great work, Lee. Thank you for sharing that. And I have one other additional person who, this is a great story. I had a one-on-one meeting with her yesterday, and I told her the tweaks and changes that I'll implement into your store. I say, I promise you, things will turn around overnight because that's usually what happens. It doesn't take long. Most of the time when I go into your store and I could do a self-diagnose on your store, I can look underneath the hood. I'm able to make changes into your store where you can get sales overnight. You can see where the impressions change rapidly. It doesn't take long when it comes to eBay's algorithm. I was able to figure this out over the years. So that's why I say it's always beneficial for you just to set up a one-on-one meeting with me. It's in the classroom on a one-on-one for 1 hour. And I set up a program for you. All right. But here, let's break this down right here. Let's go into the next one. This testimony right here is from Rachel Stevens. She wrote this morning while we were on the live stream. Actually, she wrote this, and she goes, "Let me make sure I have everything there for you." She goes, "101 with Corbellic results." She goes, "I had a 1 hour session yesterday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. We had this yesterday evening. That's how quick it works. I had a meeting with her yesterday evening at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. He praised my dynamic sales campaign and offered other areas of improvement, such as ending other campaigns and creating specific ones for auctions, buy it now, and store sales. As of 5 minutes ago, I am $5 away from completely earning back the consultation fee. And it's all from new buyers." That's the most important part, because you could put yourself in a situation where you'll box your business in, or you could hurt your business thinking that you get good sales or decent sales, but they're always from the same collectors. I always try to put you in a situation they have new collectors, because once you have new collectors, you're able to diversify, and you're able to see how deep their pockets go, because you never know. That's where the marketplace goes. I never get hyped up off of selling to the same collectors. I always get hyped up about new collectors, and I want to put you in a situation to have new collectors. That's why I'm always able to collect new collectors by having different ones. And she said they're new buyers. She goes, she says that is a big freaking deal. And it happened in less than 24 hours. She goes, if you're thinking about it, just do it without being scared. Parentheses. I know you're saying Corbellic scared quote in your head right now. She goes, you won't regret it. The quote that she's talking about is scared money makes no money. Scared money makes no money. Millionaires, billionaires, they become millionaires, billionaires not by themselves is because they get mentorship, they get coaching, and they get advice on implementation on how to get there, how to do the shortcuts. I'm not saying that you can't get there, but it's a difference between taking the shortcut, investing in yourself, investing in your knowledge, and taking the shortcut, compared to wasting time, money, thousands of dollars, and being burnt out years later on learning of what you can have today and invest in yourself. I always talk about that. That is the secret to the universe. That is also the secret how rich people stay rich. They're like, oh, they always get rich. Yeah, because they invest in themselves. They invest in their knowledge, and they invest in the relationships. They invest in coaching. They invest in knowledge of things. These are the things that I always talk about, and it comes back to you. So for her, she's already gotten back the investment of having a one-on-one with me in just less than 12 hours? It's up to you. It's up to you. I love stories like this because I always tell people it can turn around overnight. It can turn around very quickly for your account, because there's certain things that you might be missing. If you think you're missing something, hey, then how long do you have time to waste? These are things that I think about in my own life. Yes, I could probably get on YouTube and I could probably look at a video on how to do plumbing and how to do whatever, or I could just save myself the time and money, and I could hire a plumber. That way I could do things in my business, in my life, that actually generate more money for me to hire the plumber. These are the things how you need to think. My mother always told me when I was younger, these are penny for pound thinking. Sometimes you want to save a penny that's going to add up to a pound later. It's going to add up to a pound later into your life, into your time, into your money, into different things. Don't do this for yourself, right? You need to circumvent things. You need to do things that's going to add up into whatever makes the money for you in your career. These are the things that you need to focus on, right? You need to focus on things like that can improve your life. If not, then you're just going to always be in this circle of low frequency and being broke. Save yourself the time Invest in your career, invest in your business. All right. If you feel like there's something that needs to be looked at, let me look into it for you. All right. Let me help you. Help me help you. All right. So I just wanted to share those two stories right there. That's very inspiring. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Rachel. Hey, you've been putting in the work in. You also put the work in by investing into yourself. And you see the results came. It already paid for itself. And you're going to get more sales tonight. You're going to get more sales coming up in this weekend. And you're going to be booming. Let's get to it. Let's get back to it. All right. Let's get back to the paintings. All right, that's another one of those. That's another one of those moments where I would do like a clapping thing. The soundboard. The crowd goes wild. The crowd goes wild. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. All right. Wow. You go, Lee. You go, Rachel. Exactly. Exactly. So proud. So proud. It's really a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. You kidding me? It's a beautiful thing. All right, let's pull this artwork back up. See what we're going to paint now. What are we going to paint now? All right, I know what we're going to paint. Remember, we did the superhero, so now let's do another superhero. We're going to do 2 of these, and then I think that's going to be it for today. Let me see what time we got, how much time we got, because I do have I only have time to do one more painting right now, so we have less than 10 minutes to do one painting, and then I got to get off here because I got a meeting to do. I honestly have 6 to 7 back-to-back meetings right now. As soon as I get off of here, I have 6 to 7 back-to-back one-on-one meetings and coaching calls today. So I have a calendar in there. As soon as you book with me, the calendar in there, just click the calendar and it'll let you know my next available time, and then you can have a one-on-one with me so I can fix your account. Let's get into this. I'm gonna knock this one out real quick. This is going to be our abstracts of Spider-Man, right? Because Spider-Man's coming up this summer. Kids love Spider-Man. People love Spider-Man. So let's just do a Spider-Man together. No one's going to be able to say to us, oh, yeah, but you stole that Spider-Man. You made it into a skull. That's not Spider-Man. That is Spider-Man. That's... Pick or choose your poison. Let's make the canvas a little bit white or a little wet right there. Just spray it down a little. And boom. Yeah, amazing ladies right there. Amazing ladies. Women putting in the work inside the community, making it happen for sure. Ladies making it happen in the community for sure. I got ladies in the community making it happen for themselves, showing up, investing in themselves more than you guys out there. Doing better numbers more than you guys out there. How about that? It's always like that. Them ladies is showing up and doing that work, putting that work in. Unbelievable. And the ladies come in here and they pay for the super chats more than you guys do. I don't even think I got a super chat from a guy in here, but it's always the women who show support and invest back into themselves. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I appreciate y'all. All right, let's knock this out. Let's have this one a little bit orangey. With great power comes great responsibility. So true. You know it. So mentioning that, we're going to be talking about it's just small action steps, small daily action steps. Most people are looking for one big breakthrough when it's really just being consistent with small action steps. It's not about the big things, it's about the small steps. It all compounds and adds up. Like real businesses are usually built through boring daily actions. You always hear me talk about that. It's the boring stuff. It's the mundane. It's the mundane that adds up. That's how you get $1 million. That's how you make six figures. You start off making six figures, and then after that, $1 million will come to you. Be like nothing because you'll have other revenues. But also, we call it our good luck savings, our blessed savings. We never touch our blessed savings. We never touch our good luck funds because then that's the thing that brings in more money. Our blessed savings, the thing, like you have a savings account and then you have another savings account that you'll never, ever, ever touch. Even if the most emergency, you'll never, ever, ever touch because you need that one so it could bring more income to you. It could bring more blessings to you. We never touch that. That's our blessed savings, our good luck savings. Where it's where it's scared money makes no money. And also psychologically, the power of it is knowing that you have more where it came from. You have money buried and you have a pot of gold buried somewhere. I always say that you need to lower your dopamine levels so that way that's how you're able to become successful by not being bored because most things are just the mundane over and over. It's the same things over and over. You're just doing the same things over and over. But sometimes it's like we lose money and opportunity because we're always trying to reinvent the wheel and we're always trying to be so crafty. And we're trying to be crafty because we're bored of what we're doing. A lot of times we're like, all the things, like how many times have you been like, all the things that I'm doing, it's not working because you're always changing it up. And the reason that you're changing it up is because you want to change up your dopamines of doing something else. You feel like you always got to tweak something. You're tweaking something all the time because your dopamine levels is telling you to keep tweaking something instead of doing the same thing over and over. If you want to get in shape, don't keep going to the gym and doing different exercises. Keep doing the same thing. Do push-ups, do pull-ups, just do walking, do basic. But no, I need to do something else. Something else needs to be done. It has to be complicated. We always try to overcomplicate stuff, and it's really just the less. It's just simple. Focus on the boring actions. One listing may not change your life, but repeated listings can change your direction. Look at those testimonies that we just did with Lee and with Rachel. It eventually will get there by you being consistent and doing the small mundane over and over and over. Don't always try to change it up, recreate the wheel. Sweet life. Yes, you understand what we're talking about. You understand it. Yes. Yes, exactly. And that's inside of the course as well too that I read in the Money Secrets course where it's 14 17 chapters in there. But you have it in there correctly where you said on there the money magnet savings. Exactly. You understand it. That's what I'm talking about. You understand it how it works. I like that saying too. It's the money magnet savings. There's different savings that you need to have. And this is the thing. I don't care if every day or every week you have to just put $5 in there, $10 in there. Small increments you keep putting into your money magnet savings. You keep putting it in there and you're never going to touch it. Now, your savings account, you have a regular savings account that maybe in case of an emergency, your car breaks down or emergent or vacation one day, whatever, you could touch that savings. But your money magnet savings, you never touch it. The reason why is because it's going to generate more money for you. This is how you're going to get rich. This is how you're going to make money overnight. You're never going to make money if you're always robbing Peter to pay Paul. If you're always living paycheck to paycheck or painting to painting, you're never going to make money. It doesn't work that way. Trust me, it doesn't work that way. You're never going to make money. You're only going to make money if you have a money magnet savings. I don't care if you just put and this is the thing, it costs you nothing. Well, yes, it does. I have to wait and I have to do this. We make so many excuses. Think about how many times that you go out to eat or you spend $10 on a Starbucks coffee. I didn't even know they cost that much because I don't drink Starbucks or I don't drink coffee. But I was listening to the CEO yesterday because they were interviewing him. And I guess Starbucks is doing bad on business right now because people are starting to be more financially fiscally responsible or cautious or conscious. And he was saying that the Starbucks coffee on the average is like $9 that people are spending. You can spend $9 on a cup of coffee, but you're telling me that you can't spend $9 to put into your money magnet savings account so you could bring this energy to you? It doesn't matter how much money I make, I'm always going to put money away into my money savings account because the more that I'm stacking that up, the more that I have that there, the more money that I could generate and that comes to me. I always say this in my money course. These are things that I spent thousands of dollars on these lessons to teach you. These are things that I had to learn and these are secret society lessons. And I can't tell you how electricity, energy, or gravity works, but we do know it's there. And these are rules as well too. A lot of these things are biblical. These things are in the Bible. That's how old this information is. What time is it? I gotta tighten this up real quick. We're doing this really quick. So I gotta head out to a meeting on Forge or Forge. It's Forge. 10 canvases a week. It becomes 40 canvases in 1 month. It compounds. I always tell people it's not about how much you can do or how many canvases I do. It's about the consistency. I'd rather you be consistent than anything. It's easy for you to, oh, I listened to a Corbellic video and I'm inspired today. Okay, but can you be inspired tomorrow to be consistent? I'd rather hear the number. How many can you consistently do? Let's just start there. Not how many should you do or whatever. How many can you do? Let's just start there. And then we could just focus on that. How many are you capable of being consistent to do? Just to start off with the scale with. It's small steps. That's what matters. The people who win are not always the most talented. They are just the most consistent. They're the most consistent. Water breaks stone, right? If you keep dropping a drop of water on stone for so long, for so many years, eventually that stone is going to break. I apologize. I'm kind of rushing right now so I could be professional and on to my meeting. Let me turn the lights on. So the small actions become powerful when you stop quitting every time that the results are slow. We're all guilty of this because we're human. I'm guilty of this as well. We end up getting into a thing and saying, "Oh, it doesn't work. It's not going to work for me." But also we get caught up into this phase where we had so many moments in our life where things didn't work. So we end up saying to ourselves, "Oh, this isn't going to work either. This is just another one of those things that's not going to work out for me in my life." So we end up stopping things all the time because we don't see the results fast enough. And we need to get out of that. I was one of those people. I would have never been able to do eBay. But I'm thankful that I kept going and that I kept seeing the results, and then I was able to do it. Because if not, I tried so many things and it didn't work for me. I tried Etsy, I tried so many different things and none of them worked. And I thought that eBay was another one, like, oh, it's just another thing that doesn't work for me. We need to stop changing things. A lot of times when people wonder why things aren't working, it's because you're not giving things a chance, or at least having eBay stabilize on your account to understand whatever the changes that you're doing. I'm gonna put power here. Right? What do you think? There we go. All right, I'm gonna do that real quick, and then that's it. That way I can get on to my meeting. I appreciate you tuning in today to the live stream. We'll be back next week, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. avocado time, Pacific time. If you're not already a part of the elite community, join the elite community so you can do this for yourself. Everything is mapped out for you. Look at that. That's our quick Spider-Man. Very abstract, very expressionism. I enjoy it. And you could do that too. We had some really great fun pieces today. So let me know in the comments what you think about that painting. Let me know if you appreciate the gems that we dropped today, the knowledge that was given. Leave me a super chat, liking the video if you haven't already. You can click the link to join the eBay elite community. It's right there for you. And I'm going to be inside the community if you have any questions. And I'm going to see you guys later. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great weekend. Today's Thursday. Be productive out there. Make sure that you know, today's an important day if you're out there listening because it ends on Sunday. So that way we can do the Sunday listing. Make sure that you have the most auctions out there. All right. So I greatly appreciate you tuning in because you could have been anywhere else, but you tuned in with me. We're crazy. We have a great time. We're the degenerates out here, right? All right. So I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. I appreciate it. I love you guys. I'll see you later.